Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom Connors. With me is a crew of gentlemen that I can't wait to introduce to you. Tonight we got a special guest, Kamran. Pasha, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm a little exhausted. Had a lot of writing to do this week, but I was delighted to be able to come on the stream because, as usual, crazy stuff is happening in my industry. So whatever.
Awesome. And joining us just a few seconds late, but that's all right because he was busy. Paulie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. The last time I checked, I'm not a white Latino, but that's all right.
I feel the lack of melanin on this call is making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm feeling very agitated right now. So
me and Script are the whitest of all y'all. So
well, we have to take your word for it because I don't know what you look like. I know what Tom looks like. I don't know what Script looks like.
We now feel your pain, brother.
And speaking of Script, we also have the one, the only Script Doctor, PhD. He has the prescription for all your entertainment needs. How you doing?
I am well. I am this pale. I did not realize Tom looks so much like Dean Pelton from Community. That's
I'm trying a new look.
I like it. The tie is very professional.
He's kind of like a gay hitman.
Oh my God! That's
Did you
hilarious.
just die already, please?
Oh my God!
But
very
that's
problematic.
I'm gonna leave. You're
that's
dying
what
by
I love.
yourself.
Those hitman
So
shows are not going to be that,
problematic.
so we're going there. So it's all good.
Did you see how that guy died? It was totally without style. Anyway, also joining us, last but not least, the man who I always have to tell to behave, but we love it when he goes off, Mr. Jesse Miller. How you doing?
Oh boy!
Oh, I had a lovely day. Worked 11 hours, and now I'm here to talk about
That's
fun
right.
stuff.
Hardworking man works for the man, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't get things done. I don't want to dox what you do, but yeah. No. Anyway, we've got a hell of a show today. Paulie and Kamran are here specifically for one reason. Here, I'm going to do this just because of my OCD. There we go.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, kind of a triangle. There we go. So yeah, we've got some news to talk about. Some ladies from Toxic Femme might join us as well. We'll see if they pop
ladies
in.
make me happy. That makes me happy.
Hopefully, if they are free. Gay
Women
hitmen
are never free.
There's a movie in there somewhere, isn't there?
You just gave them an idea. It's coming.
Think
now.
Gross Point Blank, but with style.
I promise you that is being developed somewhere.
Somehow
Probably,
still
yeah.
starring John Cusack.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Dan
I can
Aykroyd wants to bring fashion to the Hitman Agency.
Is there going to be meetings?
It's killing in style.
No.
The only
meetings.
thing they've gotten right so far is use of the word dossier.
I loved Gross Point Blank. That was a great fucking movie. Very overlooked film.
Dude, when he goes back to his childhood home and it's a gas station, they played Live and Let Die.
That whole bit.
You know,
The song that there's dancing to on the dance floor is Matador from Los Fabulosos Cadillacs. That was such a great song.
But speaking of the home going home, they say you can't go home again, but you can shop there. I love that.
yeah.
I'm pissed. I got to find a job. But yeah, I think there's a movie in there somewhere. Kamran, Script, just give me 10%. That's all I care about. And a part in it.
As Script will affirm, the most annoying thing any screenwriter goes to is you're sitting on an airplane and the guy next to you goes, "Oh man, you're a screenwriter? Look, I got this idea.
I actually have good ideas.
And I'll give you write it and we'll split it 50-50.
I didn't say 50-50. I said 10% in a part.
Like, sir, this is what you call unsolicited material, and you need to stop now.
And I'm not some guy on a plane. I'm Tom. I come up with shit like nunchuck and dinosaurs. Okay, this is good stuff.
That is actually good stuff.
See, that's what I'm saying. So
Nunchuck and dinosaurs.
There's a potential there for toys.
Velociraptors with
It's basically Dinosaurs meets Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
That's
and
it.
then you got Nunchuckosaurus, whose struggle is he has to learn how to nunchuck with such tiny arms, but he becomes the best chucker in Dino Land.
Damn right.
Because he's Nunchuckosaurus. All right, we'll get to that. We got a super chat. Look at that. Paulie, Latinx Rant brother.
Latinx Rant, brother. Latinx Rant.
Latinx 66. I missed it on Espanol. Work interrupted the stream, sadly. Well, it should be still up there, right?
Yeah. I actually saved my my 2 cents because I knew I was going to be on a show with Kamran, but we had to, thank God, and it was really cool. You guys have included us right now. We moved it to Mead because we were going to be on the slant earlier today, and it just works out better, Kamran.
Yeah, no, I literally just had I ended up having a 3-hour phone call for notes on a project, and I just couldn't do the call. I'd initially agreed to do 2 o'clock today, and then I woke up this morning, got a message that we need you all afternoon. I was like, here we go, and so
Yeah,
I literally just got off that call to come on this. So.
well, it all started yesterday with sharing a video, and then Kamran shared it. And there was response after response, comment after comment, and then a lot of people a lot of other YouTubers that we know and love shared it as well. And it's unreal, and yet it's not. I'm surprised, and yet I'm not. The points are made; they are real points, and yet they're not. So yeah, I'm pretty I'm all of the above right now, Kamran.
You sound very mysterious.
I was gonna say, let's before we get ahead of ourselves, we'll get everybody know what you guys are talking about today, because that's gonna kick off the stream. Before we do that, we got Mexican Iron Man Mike. I sent you the link. If you can join us, hop on in. My great panel brothers, I have been triggered all day. Hail brother Kamran on this important topic. Colorist, seriously? Fine, then call me dark-skinned Mexican Iron Man. Kidding. LOL, good grief. Well, you know what? Get in here and air your grievances on this situation, because this is some messed up stuff. Paulie, now, this movie, In the Heights.
Yeah.
You saw it. I didn't get a chance to yet. Has anybody else here seen it yet?
No.
No, I'm familiar with the play it's based off of.
Have you seen the play?
Yeah.
Years ago, yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar enough with it anyway.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so like Jesse and I really have very little to add to this part of the conversation, but Paulie and Kamran, I know you guys really had a few things you wanted to break down with this. So, Paulie, I'm going to let you kick this off.
Well, yeah. So, who knew we would be talking about this movie on Mead today?
Yeah, this isn't exactly in our purview per se, but yeah.
And yet it is because of the shitstorm that has happened in the last few days. Now, before I start and Kamran adds on to it, let me just say that this is actually a pretty good musical. It's actually a pretty good film. I have my problems with it, but it's by no means woke. It's entertainment. I think what they were trying to do was some last minute kind of like current themes that they try to put in there, but they're so minor it doesn't ruin the film for me. Wonderful performances by these 4 people. I feel that Melissa Becerra, who's the one on the left there.
I was about to say the hot chick on the left.
The hot chick on the left. Very talented, miscast in my opinion. But that being said, there's some great numbers in this genre musical. So we could talk about.
So is that part of the problem here? Like what Mecca J saying is that they hate it that it's not woke. Because I remember going over that Scott Mendelson article with you,
bro. I mean, there's so many angles to this. When I said it's so complex, it's surprising what it's bringing out. Not the movie. The movie is just a musical. It's a lot of fun.
No, but it's unveiled a lot of pathologies that need to be
right. But because it's not that cure-all be-all for Latinos in Hollywood, they're ripping it to shreds. They're tearing each other up. And when I say they, everyone from Latinx reviewers, influencers.
I think these Latinx people keep up. They're going to be called ex-Latin.
Well, we hope so. We hope so.
You're not Latin enough, ex-Latin.
Oh,
you're out of here. You're out of the family.
You're out of the family.
But you're not coming to the barbecue.
You're out of me familia.
I don't care.
But what they are doing is crushing, absolutely crushing, this movie down. Maybe because people are talking about it, people will go see it for themselves. I say it's worth going, especially if you like musicals. They've attacked the director, they've attacked the writer, the creator of it, they've attacked the actors. The actors and the creator and the director, all but one, have bent the knee back. I don't know what I'm watching here. Right?
Yeah, that's what I noticed was like they're actually going after the actors for not being dark enough. Is that what's going on, Paulie?
Correct.
The idea that the actors
Correct.
should have never even stood for these roles or should have walked away, which is the continuation of a trend. Because
so they weren't supposed to be born the race they were born?
Correct.
So,
but there's been a trend. We've had in voice actors recently have been pressured, and many have resigned for not playing, for not being the race of the character they're allegedly doing.
That absolutely drives me insane because there's so many great voice actors out there who do hundreds of voices, and to think that you're not allowed to do half of your job anymore.
Yeah,
so let me just get to the
it's not face, but go on. Yeah.
So the starting point that me and Cameron were going back and forth on it was pretty funny because it was like kind of all night long, is this video where this interviewer goes right after the director. First question, live, whatever it was, why don't you have a black Afro Latina as the lead?
That was the first question. It shocked me. It was the first.
Completely not the forum, in my opinion. Completely disrespect. Just I think that person even said, "Oh, it was a fine film, but this."
Yeah.
So that started it off, guys. That video is just
that's like old school racism, like old fashioned, old timey racism. That's so blatant.
I probably would have answered that with, well, why aren't you, the interviewer, the same ethnicity as I am? Just kind of like show them the absurdity of asking such a question.
Yeah, but then he does not. But because the director is Asian, that's going to open up a whole other can of worms for this woke crowd, right? So.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and Brandon of the Daily Cella brought that up. Is that they tore David Ayers a new one last year when he dared to direct The Tax Collector, which was a Chicano gangster film that they hated. Yeah. It was like, oh, you got a white director, but you got all Chicano cast except for Shia LaBeouf, who plays a homie from the hood. Great action film. Point is, why is this person getting the pass? In a sense, right? It's like there's so much going on. Yeah.
I was just curious. Do you have that video by chance handy? They want to see it.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to play that clip? I'll gladly play it. Sure.
It's right at the opening. Yeah.
I mean,
and that poor guy, he's just left flabbergasted. I mean, you'll see it. It's just like he's like deer in the headlight. He didn't expect it coming. I mean, he's like, okay, how do I handle this?
Well, I saw it because was it 2 days ago or whenever it was? I said Latinx is trending. It's not pretty. Oh my! And I will stop using that word. People in the crowd are like, stop.
Well, for those who know,
if you like Paulie, my Latino friends don't like it, so I don't use it.
Well, I'll back you up, Paulie. You're somebody who has said in the past that you do not like that word.
Listen, we can get in. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's fascinating is what this brings up. There actually is a lot of truth to a lot of things, but that's not the point. The point is that this is a good film. Go and see it. Let people know about it, right? Then pick up if you got qualms with the director or the writer, write them a letter. Tell them what's going on. After the interview, you have that person's attention. Talk to them afterwards.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay, here's
just to bring attention.
You got
to
your private messages showing there, Paulie.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Yeah, someone in the chat had said that
a lot of people
showed
like
him
Daphne
and his family about
Dasha,
Latino family values. Do you think that's a problem why they're attacking it too?
Let me hold on. Okay, what happened?
Someone in the chat mentioned that it shows positive Latino family values. Now, do you think that's another reason why they're attacking it? Because a lot of these people like to destroy the family unit so that TV becomes mommy and daddy.
I think they thought it was going to be their Black Panther, and it's not. If anything, they should have really went after every musical theater group, high school level, college level, to get this out as it's a musical. Yeah, it's good-hearted, and they actually took out some of the more controversial plot lines from the musical to make it even more friendly. But yes, it's about a neighborhood of characters that come together, that love each other, that this is our neighborhood, this is Washington Heights. It's beautiful. Performances are outstanding. And you know, their theme is you work hard. It's called the American Dream.
So that's what they don't like.
Correct.
Gotcha.
You know, and so they tried to add a little bit of wokeness in there, but it's so minor. They didn't need to do it, right? You know, but again, you can't lump all. It's like they've been promoting this movie for over a year now as the greatest second coming.
Yeah,
and that's not fair. I'll shut up. Yep.
No. I just wanted to point this out. Joe Pat, I'm not trying to single you out here, but yeah, Paulie did compare it to that, but that's what other people were doing. It wasn't Paulie's doing.
Saying
Yeah.
That's not a fair expectation, as you're pointing out in that tweet. That's not a fair expectation, and yet that was what was being presented.
Right.
Yeah, and that was that.
And I mean it more culturally.
Yeah,
a cultural phenomenon that
that
was going to sweep the nation. This was going to be our Black Panther. No, and I didn't mean the genre. Forgive me. I meant the cultural phenomena that happened after Black Panther. It swept the nation, right? As far as like Black America, then they wanted that for the Latino population. And for one thing,
you're fine, Joe Pat. I was just saying because like actually what some of this was set off by was the Scott Mendelson article where he was putting it up against all these other films that have nothing to do with musicals, including superhero movies and all this other crap. And it's like, dude, where are you getting this stuff? Like you're just saying, Paulie, it's a musical. If anything, they should have been comparing it to like West Side Story and Grease and stuff like that, being like, this is this generation's that or whatever. They could have sold it on that, and that would have been a bit.
I mean, there's so many angles to this, Cameron. There's so many, like, why didn't they release it during Christmas, Valentine's Day? I mean,
it's almost as if they wanted to. I mean, look, there's the issue we talk about. It's almost as if somebody wanted it to fail, consciously or subconsciously within the system.
Funny you mentioned that, Cameron, because I've noticed like really shitty advertising on this. And the other night when we were going through that article, I even went to my HBO Max profile and I had to dig for this movie. It's not being advertised on there at all.
Now, this video, you guys in the chat, and I don't know if the panelists, if they've seen this, it's pretty. It's all right. She's interviewing the director first. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Shaved ice. I ain't gonna say it twice. Turn up the street lights. We taking the flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington Heights.
Congratulations on In the Heights. It was a lovely musical. But as a Black woman of Cuban descent, specifically from New York City, it would be remiss of me to not acknowledge the fact that most of your principal actors were light-skinned or white-passing Latinx people. So with that...
Wow. That's...
First thing right off the bat.
First thing you say to a
director... You didn't even introduce these guys.
Why did she list her ethnicity like it was a military rank?
I mean,
that's the first sign that you're fucking nuts and now I have to pay attention to you.
Good full Black Panther, so 1960s Black Panthers thing going on there, right? So we already figure out what the agenda is. So
a little Weather Underground.
All right, let me go on.
If I was going to be a jerk to interview this director, I would say, what's with the smudge at the end of that take? What happened with the camera there?
Always a script doctor. Here we go.
What are your thoughts on the lack of Black Latinx people represented in your film?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something we talked about, and I needed to be educated about, of course. In the end, when we were looking at the cast, we tried to get the people who were best for those roles, and that's specifically. And
I'm going to stop it right there. Cameron, that should have been the end of the answer.
Yeah.
We got the best people for the roles.
Yeah,
I hate how he had to say I had to be educated on it.
I know
the poor guy he couldn't look at the camera. I mean, he was he was looking down in like shock, and he was trying to make up a story at that moment.
I'm sorry, but what does some Black lady have anything to say to some Latino person about their own fucking race? That is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. That would be like me coming up to Paulie and going, by the way, Paulie, I don't think you have enough Latinos on your channel because it's called the Latino Slant. That's just me, but hey.
Can I express this from my own experience as a Muslim guy, right? When I was getting a lot of attention in this town, especially after the show Sleeper Cell, I was invited to a lot of sort of public events and, at the Museum of Television and Radio and things like that, where I would speak on panels on the topic of how Muslims and Arabs and all that are presented on in television. And I would often find the most aggressive, negative questioners in the audience would be people from my own community. It was like they came there and they came there with a bee in their bonnet. And they came there with the desire. Number one, they would basically call me a sellout for being in the system. They would find everything wrong with the shows that I worked on and say I would betray the community. And then they would just go off on these screeds. And I would get very angry there. And I'd be like, well, let's see you do this. I mean, look, there's a reason I'm the only one out here. Certainly at the time I was the only one. There's more now. But let's see you do this. I would love for you to come in, go through the system, survive it, and be able to do some version of your vision. And none of them wanted to do that because they're enjoying the leather hat rebel thing going on. That's what they were enjoying, the attention of being fight the man without having to actually go through the process of having to work inside of a corporate system. Right?
You should have given him the Hollywood 70s scuzzball answer. Just be like, well, that's hot right now, baby. It just means more jobs. Give him a slap on the back and walk away.
No matter what you say, and I think you were saying this, we were all talking over each other, but you were saying this, which is that she already had the look on her face. No matter what answer you're going to give, I'm not interested. And I've seen that look.
Oh yeah,
look from people around the community. They're just speechifying. They're not interested in the answer.
If I was him, I would have said, can we stop rolling? I need to talk to you off camera.
Yeah, but you know how to take control of the situation.
Interview, it's not going to be about that. I mean,
but he doesn't feel the power to do that because right now she's coming in playing into Hollywood's current fake support of Black liberation, right? So he's like, oh my god, what do I do? He's like, as a man and as an Asian man, he's not going to be able to say assert himself. That's why he was just shrinking on camera in front of us because he didn't see that coming. He was ambushed. And he's like, there's no way out of this politically. And there was no way out of it politically. Had he stood his ground, which is what I, with my obnoxious character, would do because I've done it whenever I've been confronted like that. In the situation he's in, he would probably have been, blacklisted at the studio because they're like, you didn't handle that right. You came across as the toxic male. And right now, of all these tensions between Asian communities and Black communities, whatever, you handled it wrong, and his career would have been over.
Can I ask you a question, Cameron? Would an acceptable answer be we hired the people with the most charisma? Or is that not okay?
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. Yeah,
right
but
people.
He had to further,
just not good enough.
Go on and say, I need to, lack of better words, do better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they all said, except for Melissa. Except for Melissa, because it's interesting because Melissa's is not from here. She's from Mexico. And more fair skin, and she's like, "Look, I worked my ass off to get this damn role. They picked the best people, and that is the true. That is the true disgrace here is having to make this creator apologize. Lin-Manuel Miranda, you have nothing to apologize for. Mm-hmm. You are an incredible talent. You are a genius. You are an amazing. Right. He did something that had never been done before. He created a new genre of a Broadway musical. He mixed hip hop, Latin music, Broadway singing all in one. He saw it. I mean, the guy's a fucking poet. Yep. And this is how you treat him?
Well,
I can't.
Well, see, the thing is, they don't like capitalism, so they're not smart enough to milk a cow for every last drop.
Like I said, I miss cocaine and capitalism in my entertainment for sure. But no, Sanders bringing up a good point here. He should have pulled a Brie Larson on him and been like, no, I don't want anybody but Latinos interviewing me. I mean, we probably would have gave him shit for it, but you know what? I can see why now.
Well, she was Latina.
Is she? Because she looked more black to me.
She said she was Afro-Cuban.
I don't know. I couldn't hear half the shit she
said. Not Latino enough.
Afro-Latinx. It doesn't. Listen, that's a complete separate argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as
why is she bringing it up in the fucking first place? Is the main question.
Well, moral superiority. That's established
because that is not the forum for it. You're right. You're absolutely right, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Why could have fooled me if she didn't tell me, PJ. That's my point, and that goes to the whole point here. How would she know how Latino any of these people are?
Wait,
They are all Latino.
wait, who are you talking about, Tom? I'm confused.
The interviewee.
Yeah,
Gang
she introduced
stalking.
herself as Afro.
She says at the beginning that she's
But how does she know who any of these actors are, how Latino they are, or their backgrounds, or any
She
of that
knows they're
shit?
Latino.
Oh.
They're white passing, which they don't
she
look
called
white
them
passing
white
to me.
passing. I mean, what? Who says that?
Racists.
Yeah, someone with low
Racist.
self-esteem.
That's it.
That's my
Listen,
point. Is
Jesse,
how is
I
she
know-
such a fucking
Jesse, I know you go for the jugular, but listen, and that's fine. But I'm just
Well,
going to
the
give
only
the
people
benefit.
who are obsessed with
Bro,
race
I'm
are
just gonna-
racists.
I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt for a second.
Mhm.
Is that she's completely misguided and empowered by the events of last year? Because that type
I
of
agree.
behavior, that's where that's coming from
She
the
feels
behavior of
society is on her side right now.
correct.
Yeah,
I will burn
my
and tear it
question
down.
was,
I
is
don't
how
care
does
who I'm
she-
talking to. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to burn and tear it down. How come you didn't hire me? That's basically what you're saying. How come you didn't hire me?
The
that is
rhetorical
exactly what
question-
she's saying. That
the
she's
rhetorical
talking about herself.
The
That's
rhetorical
exactly-
question I was kind of getting to is how is she not such an expert on their fucking background? That's my question, I guess. It's a rhetorical question, yes.
Well,
but
but-
yeah,
and the rhetorical answer is she doesn't care about them.
That's
they
the
are
thing,
pawns
yes.
in an argument. She's Paulie's right. She's talking about herself. That's why she laid out her personal background and identity in order to say you didn't cast me or someone that looked like me. And so I'm offended by that because we don't have to go to racism. We can, but we can say this, and I say this, it's coming from low self-esteem. It's coming from I'm seeing somebody in my community that's a shade different from me, and I think I'm inferior to them, right?
Push-ups is can we get push-ups comment?
Please.
And Kamran, that's really another thing happening here is that this is what you get when you play with Wokoso Fire. That they will come after you because Melissa is an incredible talent, but because she's very fair skinned, not very, they went after her, and she has not bent the knee on this. But because she's done some other, stuff, whatever, you can't make people happy, man. And that's the thing. These guys should have stuck to their guns. Lin-Manuel has no business apologizing. Stan, you guys created. And you still create opportunities and work for people that wouldn't have them. That's the bottom line, Script. They've created these opportunities in Hollywood. Who the fuck else would have given them this? No one. What are you doing, interviewee? What are you creating? Have you created anything where you've given other people jobs? And then once you do that, I'm going to come after you and say, how come you haven't given me a job? I've got a story. Oh, I'm going to disrespect what you did. I don't care about what you did. Yeah, that movie was okay. But how come you didn't give me someone that looks like me a job? Because that's what happened, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, but look, this is a very
it's all very disgusting.
Yeah.
But part of me is kind of I would say happy that it's happened, but it's good that it's happened because now I think a lot of people on that side of the fence need to see how fucking idiotic they look and sound. And clearly, Lin-Manuel is probably in the same political boat as this lady.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet. But this is what we need is some people to finally say, God, do I come off like that? Do I look like that? Do I sound like that? Yes, motherfucker, you sound like a Karen. And you need to stop.
See, that's why I'm glad that the loud minority is starting to be revealed as such, and that the majority of America is still pretty level-headed.
Well, majority of America has always been pretty level-headed. That's what's kept us coming together, right?
The whole thing is your conversation the other day with Andre was excellent when you guys were talking about the Chinese money and how it just never actually came.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the thing that's going to break all this down.
So the rest of this video is basically the same thing.
If you want to play it, go for it.
No, I mean, because we have Kamran for a short amount of time. I mean,
it's a little bit of more of the same with this guy cowering and
he cowers. The actors cower except for Melissa, and Melissa's basically saying, at the end of the day, they got the best people for the job. Why are you asking me?
And then you got these young actors worried if they're ever going to work again.
Oh man!
Well, every actor worries that pretty much. If they have any sort of
because acting is an unstable profession. I mean, actors have long careers like Romy has had. So,
and you've totally disgraced. I mean, I cannot tell you how, and this is me personally, and Tom knows I've been talking about this actor for months now, since the beginning of the year. Anthony Ramos is an amazing talent.
Mhm.
He's very distinctive looking. He's very Dominican looking.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't get the. I mean, it's just those 4 actors that we have on our thumbnail. They're all different shades of Latino. But Benny, played by the great Corey Hawkins, he's black-haired. He's African American. They're all loving and friendships with each other. What's your problem? You have no argument. You have no argument. And these are all incredible performances. They really are. You know,
and they
especially if you like
reflect
musicals.
Washington Heights. I grew up in Brooklyn. You know, I had friends. I went to school in Manhattan. I had friends from Washington Heights. You know, Washington Heights has changed a lot in the 40 years since I grew up, in New York. But the Washington Heights I know was this broad ethnic range, right?
Mhm.
And there were a lot of white people and black people in Washington Heights too, which it was a diverse neighborhood. It's transformed a bit since then.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you this: when I was in college, I worked one summer at the Manhattan Borough President's office, right, which is like the local city government of Manhattan, right? And one day I even saw Donald Trump sitting there waiting for the big boss. He had some like business meeting with her, but we showed this incredible video there.
Yeah.
A group of people from Washington Heights came to show a video about life in their community, and it was just it was this magical world, and the diversity of it is shown in this film. And so this person doesn't want diversity, doesn't want me.
There we go.
You got her response? Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to find Melissa's response.
Yeah, the people wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And she's amazing too as the role of Nina. It's like every time
You gotta give the audience what they want.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's nothing better than a Puerto Rican barber.
I'll take your word for it. I have no hair.
They'll shave anything, Tom.
Okay, I just want to thank the Jack of all
PG-13,
the Jack of all casuals for joining the show. Oh, we're R-rated and a half here. And we'll be getting to the super chats here very shortly.
Yeah, I'm getting buff.
Yeah, you're getting some buffering there. Yeah.
Not even God wants anybody to see this lady.
Well, I mean, 2.4 million views. She got what she wanted.
No shit, right?
What's interesting is her. I've gone back. Everyone knows I'm a huge follower and fan of Malcolm X, and I've watched a lot of the 1960s interviews with Malcolm X.
Refresh, Paulie.
So and you see Malcolm is actually his biggest critics are not coming from white journalists. His biggest critics are coming from other civil rights leaders and other Black Americans at the time, and he holds his own with them. He calls them out without any problem, without any fear. I'd like to see her take on Malcolm X and talk about this kind of stuff, right? And he'd be just like, "What are you doing to empower the community? I'm trying to get Black people to
is this
I'm trying to get them to stop drinking. I'm trying to get them off drugs."
The world wasn't ready for him in the 60s, dude. That's just the way it is.
No, Felice Leon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't land on Hollywood. Hollywood landed on us.
It would be remiss of me to not acknowledge the fact
Remiss.
that most
Yes, it would be
of
quite
these
remiss.
actors were light-skinned or white.
That's Melissa right there.
Latinx people.
And really,
So
let's
with
be
that,
honest. Let's be honest. That's what a lot of people are having a problem with. Is the pretty fair-skinned Latina in this movie.
She ain't that fair skinned, buddy. She looks
No,
like
she's not.
No, comparatively,
she's about my shade, and nobody thinks I'm a fair skinned dude.
No.
see my
Like,
white
look at her
ass?
Instagram, bro. Comparatively, she's. But my point is, out of these 4,
Yeah.
right. And maybe I'm just saying.
Well, there's I've said it in a tweet I sent out. It's all about jealousy. I mean, now it's about this person's personal jealousy.
I feel so blessed we get to express the diversity that is
Look at her
within
face.
and that community in a way that we haven't been able to see on screen.
See, they're all
because so
saying
many
and hitting the
times
points.
put on screen in one particular way, and since we get so little opportunities, everyone wants to claim that one story because it's all we got.
I think it's important
Here we go.
to note, though, that in the audition process, which was a long audition process, there were a lot of Afro-Latinos there, a lot of darker-skinned people, and I think they were looking for just the right people for the roles, for the person that embodied each character in the fullest extent. And I think we are all very much like our characters, so much so that a lot of times it didn't even feel like we were acting. They just kind of let us live in there. And because the cast ended up being us, and Washington Heights is a melting pot of Black and Latinx people, John and Lynn wanted the dancers and the big numbers to feel very truthful to what the community looks like.
Did you not see that?
Okay.
I love how she's kind of like, yeah, we are the best. That's why we're here. Fuck you.
Well,
You
that's the
know,
first thing.
Exactly what she's saying.
That's the first thing she said. You're absolutely right. I want to back it up because it's the very. She's like, you know what? That's all very nice and dandy, but here's what's up.
Now the SJW is going to laugh at what they just said.
Oh no, they've been going after her, bro.
And be angry again.
They've been going after her.
Audition process. There were a lot of
It's like,
it was a long,
you know, we're actors. We audition. We earn the role.
To note though that
I think it's important to note though that like this is the most important thing. Anyways, there's that.
Well, God willing, if I ever get my More Spain project moving, I'd love to cast her. She'd be great. So yeah,
That makes me so happy to hear you say that.
And welcome, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Mike.
Well, Tom, I'm going to have to give you the warning that that Mexican Iron Man is triggered as a motherfracker right now, and
You
I'm
can
not
swear
sure
here. We're on After Dark.
Okay, because I don't know. I know when I have my Midnight Edge sweatshirt on, you know, it's like the no song, and you know, I wear tie and suit to Midnight Edge. But I'm pretty fucking hot right now. I mean, I haven't done a rant since I was on Doomcock's channel, I think back in February, so it's been a while, but I'm ready to rant.
Let her rip, brother.
All right, so here are my points. Point number one. First of all, colorism does exist within the Hispanic culture. I have a whole multitude of experiences. They're so ridiculous. They're hilarious. I remember my Jamaican fiance in Stanford that I was going to marry. We didn't end up getting married, but I was going to. My uncle sits me down. He speaks only Spanish. Doesn't speak a lick English. I show him a photo of her, and he tells me in Spanish, "Mijo, es una negra." Sabes eso? Like he's breaking news. You're dating a black chick. Well, wow, uncle, I did not know that. I did not, breaking news, And growing up, I had this other cousin who, he could slam 24, tall cores, in the night, and he's, in and out of being jail and this and that. Meanwhile, I go to Stanford, yet he's always the favorite one because he's always super light skinned. It just exists. Yeah. A variety of cultures have it. Indian cultures have it.
Pakistani culture, Arab cultures,
Black folks have it.
In Africa, they're shading colorism. It's huge.
Yes. This thing exists around the world. But you know what? It just exists. Let's move the frickin' frack on. So I got 3 problems today. Problem number 1 is that if this is good, first of all, my biggest problem is with this interviewer. I'm sorry. First of all, who said a black chick gets to interview the Latin people in the Latin fucking movie? I'm so fucking sick and tired of these fucking Afro-Cubans. There's like 1.5% of them compared to all lands on planet Earth, and they are so superior. So you got to live in Florida like I did. You got to live and work in New York like I did. You got to live and work on the East Coast and the West Coast. You know what? There are way more Mexicans and Mexican Americans, Chicanos, fill in the blank, whatever the hell, Latinos, whatever, than there are these fucking Cuban Afro motherfuckers that are elitists, right? So they always are like this. They always talk down to all of us, no matter if they're like, dark as asphalt or light skin. And let's face facts, what's going on here. This bitch is fucking jealous that a prettier gal got this role that didn't have kinky fucked up hair. And second of all,
I'm glad you said that because it did seem like beauty jealousy.
There is absolute fucking feminazi, beauty jealousy, feminism. You know what? This bitch is going to have to buy a dog and die alone because no man's going to want to be with her, let alone cast her in a role. And my next problem that I have is who said that anybody who gets to do this interview gets to wear glow-in-the-dark fucking red lipstick? I'm completely distracted to the subject matter. Mexican Iron Man is trying to focus on the creative talents and insights of the director, of the actors. My eyes are blinded by this fucking thing that looks like a YouTube logo. Why is she wearing YouTube logo red on her fucking lips?
Mike, why so serious?
I'm ranting, Tom. I'm ranting. And
tell us how you really feel.
Keep going. We love it. I love this side of you, Mexican Iron Man.
Now, Mexican Iron Man is here being Mexican. And since, by the way, I stood up for Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers several months ago when he got hit for some racial shit. Someone actually said that Mexican Iron Man isn't actually fucking Mexican, and I'm just a geeks and gamers white guy that wears around a Mexican hat. Mexican Iron Man. Mexican Iron Man. Dark as an arbol, as they say. All right. Now,
against Script Doctor, you look even darker. Just saying.
I'm a good white balance.
He's a very, very white man.
I love Script Doctor. Script Doctor is my brother. I'll
He's
take a
clear.
bullet for Script Doctor. Script Doctor's honorary Latino and has been for a year, at least a year and a half. You're interrupting my rant. Let me go back to my rant.
Go back to your rant. I want to hear it, Mike.
Why am I the only one interrupting?
What has this bitch done versus what this guy's done? Do you know how long it took to get this movie effing fucking made?
13 years.
You know what a struggle it was to get this effing fucking play to stay on Broadway, to get on Broadway, to stay on Broadway, to have a shot? Look at the creative work that this motherfucker has done. Who the hell are you, you self-righteous, egotistical, feminazi, fucking feminist women to think you have the ability to question? And you know where it comes from? Because black chicks don't respect their men, and now it's carrying over to the Latin men. Have some fucking respect. Sit down. I don't want to know what your fucking ethnic background is. Frankly, you achieved nothing. Your mom banged your dad. Probably they aren't still together. I'd be shocked if they fucking were. And if they are, I'd be pleasantly surprised. But clearly a man wasn't around to teach you some fucking respect. This man right here, who is a beta, Miranda, you're a beta fuck. Go get some balls. All right? Go get some Latino balls. All right? Go to LA. Hang out with Paulie. Take some fucking jujitsu. All right? Fucking take a shot. Get hit. Fucking take a pot shot in the fucking stomach. Take some karate. I don't fucking know. Rent a Bruce Lee video and get some nunchucks like Tom was saying. But go fucking stop being a beta. Stop apologizing to women in general and women like this fucking specifically. Be proud of what you've done, you motherfucker. Be fucking proud. You know what? Edward James Olmos was with us on Thursday. Paulie worked his ass off to pull that fucking thing together with Tom and Andre. He worked his ass off to get that fucking reunion done for Stand and Deliver. You think Edward James Olmos would have taken that question? Furthermore, do you think this bitch would have had the balls to even ask that question to an Edward James Olmos? You know what? I'll bet she might have.
I'll be honest with you. I'd have fired her if she asked that question.
Fucking might have. And you know what? You know what? I want to know who the fuck you are. I am Mexican Iron Man. Find me on Twitter, bitch. Find me. You know why I don't care about Twitter or fucking YouTube or any of this creative shit? Because I make more money in a fucking day than you make in a fucking month, bitch. Stay away from my directors. Stay away from. And by the way, everybody, go see this fucking movie. Go check it out. It's a good movie. It's a good story. It's a good play. I'm not gonna say, you know, you're gonna laugh and cry like cats because I cried because it was so fucking awful when I saw that one. But
Taylor was good. Taylor was good. Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Buttholes in Karen.
She was
I love your fiery Latino blood.
First of all, Taylor Swift is good in anything that she does. In fact, Taylor Swift has a special place in Mexican Iron Man's heart because you know what? Mexican Iron Man wants to take a stand for the smoking hot American white girl. So neglected. So neglected. Anyway, I'm done with my fucking rant. Go see the fucking movie. Go have a good time. White people, I love you. I don't know what the hell's going on. Don't let these people divide us. And you know what, Paulie? God bless you. God bless Script Doctor. God bless all my co-hosts and panelists on this fucking show. I love all you guys. You guys are my brothers on here. And I'll tell you this much. Jesse, I fucking love that you say so much of so few words. And
I've agreed with everything in your rant. It's uncanny almost.
Thank you so much for being a champion for our people. Script Doctor, you've been a great brother. And Kamran, I'm just going to say this to you, my brother. Why are things like this and what is the solution? Show me the way, brother. Show me the way. All right?
So I actually have an answer to that.
There you go.
First of all, thank you for speaking from the heart. Thank you, Mike, for speaking from the heart, and thank you for also showing yourself to the community because you know this is a world right now where what we look like is what defines us. And if you can't, you know, and you're here and you're there, you're proudly Mexican, and you know, and you're out there speaking from the heart, and thank you for that. So I will say this, if I may, to just build on your passionate words. You asked a question. You talked about Lin-Manuel Miranda, who I am also a very big fan of. And, you know, I actually even loved him in Mary Poppins, whatever. And I think he's a great talent, right? And, you know, I put out a tweet, and it was sort of subtly hinted at him as well, but it was about myself. And the tweet was that the greatest thing God did to me was he had me essentially rejected by Hollywood. I went in, rose to a certain level, got my butt kicked, and I've been climbing back up since then, right? And Lin-Manuel had a different experience. He struggled, and then he got these incredible accolades that he earned, right? On Broadway and then in Hollywood. And he became a little bit of the poster boy for the club. Because remember, the club is a bunch of rich white people that, here's our Latino friend, right? Here's our black friend. So he became the Latino friend, who was sort of, grandfathered into the club. And then you suddenly feel like you've gotten somewhere. But then you didn't, but the club will hold you on a leash of, because you're the Latino friend, so you've got to serve our agenda for the Latino community, right? And so this poor guy had to go out there and degrade himself. Maybe that's his personality. Maybe he's just a gentle artist, sweet guy who can't stand up. Maybe he even believes what he's saying. But a lot of it is about fitting into the club that pretended to let him in and is now leading him out there to take a fall for them, right? It's what we were talking about earlier with Paulie about that someone wanted this movie to fail, right? And now they want him to fail. And he's playing along with it because he doesn't understand that this is what the club does to its pets, right? Its minority pets, and I'm actually glad for the struggles and the suffering and the failures that I've had, because when I eventually take what is mine, no one's going to take that away from me ever, right? Because I took it from people that didn't want to give it to me and will resent the fact that I have it, but they won't be able to take it from me. This guy was given to his success by people that thought they could use him, and now they want to take it away and degrade him in the process. And that's what Hollywood is.
I mean,
I would agree. There's always going to be some jerk up above that is going to claim that they gave you or made you what you are, and that they can take it away. Just like, an angry parent says, I brought you into this world, I can take you out.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that there are ways, like Lin-Manuel Miranda, Kamran, Pasha, myself, we've all earned various statuses within the industry. And to take it away is actually very difficult. And for some strange reason, Lin-Manuel has bought into the idea that, yes, this can be removed just as quickly. I think it's
because he was embraced. That's my point, Script Doctor. Because he was embraced by the club. I was not embraced. I had some success. I got to the Golden Globes, the Emmys, and all that stuff. And I was told, I don't want to hire this guy. This guy's a troublemaker.
Well,
right?
what's most painful?
And I'm glad for that, because then I saw what the town was, so I could then start being honest.
But not only that, you are able to easily identify the ones that actually care about their own careers and success through relationships with other writers and other actors and directors, and those that just care about a status. And I think that's the weird part, because Lin-Manuel Miranda does have a huge fan base. He had a huge fan base before anybody else even really knew who he was. But now he's just gone up to these extra tiers, and I just think that he's kind of blinded by the mysticism of that world to think that if he's removed from the conversation, at least of this area of the conversation, everything that he achieved up to that point is going to go away with it, which is not the case. It's not going to be the case.
It's not the case. But that's the psychological trap.
Exactly.
Well, I know we only have Cameron for a short period yet, so I want to get to the super chats, and you guys in the chat have been very patient.
Guys in the chat are great.
But I want to bring up something that Paulie and I hit on before the Taylor Hackford Blood In, Blood Out reunion, where he brought up, and I double checked, he's right. Unless you count Dora the Explorer, without inflation even, La Bamba is still the highest grossing Latino film. And that is wrong. And we have a situation here where this movie could have been extremely profitable, because from my recollection, it only cost $55 million, I think is all they put into it, Paulie, if I remember, which is extremely low.
55 million, not including marketing and all that stuff.
That's low as hell. They could have made their money back easy on this movie. I don't know what the hell they did. I think it really is this idea that it wasn't woke enough. Have we reached that fucking point here?
Well, a couple things that they did that happened for sure, right? You had the beer bug, you had promotion fatigue. They had to keep pushing back the release date, and then you had, I don't know why they did this, you had way too many free showings to Latino groups, hundreds of them. So by the time this came out, a lot of these people, had already seen it. Didn't go and buy it. Didn't go pay it.
Then it was going to create buzz, But
Right.
but didn't Mel Gibson do something like that with Passion of the Christ? But I think people paid to see it. Like he would take it to churches, right?
But
He would take it to
he went
churches.
after the
He'd make
church.
money that way.
That was smart.
Maybe
He knows that churches are unified. They put their money, they go. That's why I say these guys went after the wrong crowd. They should have went after the musical theater groups,
Yeah,
high
maybe
schools, theaters, colleges, regional theaters that know this material already. This is a four Tony Award winning musical.
I agree with you guys. I think the moment that everything
strange.
got shut down and they knew they were up against some issues, they should have just four-walled this movie all over the place, just like they did with Passion of the Christ. Oh, your theater's not going to show this or whatever? Okay, fine. We're going to show it. And we're going to put it in a community theater and we're going to show it. And they could have four-walled it. Because the reason I brought up that point before is, and Paulie knows what I'm talking about here, the American audience, entertainment-wise, is over 30%. The second largest group is Latinos. And they make up over 30% of the viewing audience. And they are extremely ignored. So in this world where it's diversity and all this inclusion and all this shit, then why is it that this group specifically is still being left out, kicked to the curb? And then you have this extra kick to the nuts where it's like, oh, you made this movie about Latinos. Well, it's not black enough. What the fuck is that?
Can I give you my conspiracy theory?
I don't know, man.
Can I give you a conspiracy? Because I got to go in a couple minutes. So I'm going to give you a conspiracy theory perspective on this, right? This was, in my opinion, the reason that they sabotaged this movie's marketing and all of that isn't just incompetence. And this wasn't the right group of people to make this, right? Lin-Manuel Miranda, again, he's the pet of the club. You know, even though he has a massive fan base, they don't see him that way. And then he's getting a little big for his britches now there because they want to control the Latino narrative. That's why they push Latinx. They're the ones pushing it because they have to control the narrative, right? So, you know, remember what else is coming out? Musical Latinos? West Side Story with Steven Spielberg. That's coming out, right? And he is the head of the club. So if they're going to do a woke Latino blockbuster musical, it's got to be through him. Right, that's my conspiracy. So promoting this wasn't good. Promoting West Side Story, that's going to be something the system's going to.
But I thought everything free in America.
That is interesting. That is interesting because you have, like you said, Spielberg, Tony Kushner at the head of this. Then you have the executive producer. You have the Latino pass with Rita Moreno being the exec producer on it. She's in it. The casting seems legit. Wow,
he's the right one to do it.
Didn't even think about that one.
It goes along
I know
with the
this.
whole
I've
thing
experienced the conspiracies of the town. I've experienced you're not the right person to tell this story. I experienced that, you know, on some of the shows that I was denied that were recently big hit shows that had the Muslim villain characters, terrorism. They didn't want to interview me because I wasn't the right person to be telling that narrative. They didn't even want me to write into it. I know that from my own experience. The town has the people that are allowed to tell the story, and they usually aren't the people that are from that community. That's why Lin-Manuel went outside the box, and so they're like, let's just throw this out and screw this up. And they screwed it up.
Wait. How is Steven Spielberg, overcracker producer, who I hate because of what he gave me JJ and KK? Why is Steven Spielberg the right guy to
because he's in the club. He's the head of the club.
Yeah,
he's the beloved head of the club. I'm going to give you an example from within that. Who was out of the club for a while? I mentioned Mel Gibson, right? And so he got himself out of the club because of his big mouth, and I think he does have bigotry issues that he needs to deal with. But he
especially
got
when really drunk.
Yeah, when he's drunk, and drunk reveals your soul. Fine,
Yeah, it does.
but he is a brilliant filmmaker, setting his character aside, right? And so remember when he did Apocalypto, you know, after Passion of the Christ, I thought that was an incredible movie. Right, and it made me feel like I was back in that time, pre-conquistador culture of Central America. I felt it, right? And who did a crappy version of that afterwards? It's Spielberg, who put essentially the guys wearing blue paint, you know, from the Aztecs. He puts them into Indiana Jones 4, right, and does a bad version of it. He stole that from Apocalypto and didn't do a good job.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even connect those dots.
But yes, Spielberg is the official head of the club, right? And he is the revered icon of this town. And this movie was stepping on West Side Story's mojo. and now it's not.
That makes a lot of sense because they always have to push something else down to lift themselves up. And this is no different than them saying, oh, we can't have 2 Joker franchises at once. We can't have 2 Latin franchises at once. Now, how generalizing and racist is that? I mean, it's
even beyond racism. It's just power structure. You know, there's a club. That's why I use the word the club. There's a club. I've broken into the club and pushed right back out, right? So I've seen it. I walked inside the ballroom, saw what it was, and said, now you leave, right? So I know what the club is, and it's a real thing. And that's what I think is the deeper phenomenon happening here.
I think the club needs a financial advisor.
Yeah.
The club has too many financial advisors with no sense of proper marketing or optics, which is why we have a whole lot of issues.
Just close the fucking club.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna fix this right. Here's how we're gonna fix this. Tom and Paulie are gonna start Latino Slant Studios. Kamran is gonna be the executive producer with Script Doctor, and I don't know what's our job's gonna be. We'll promote it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find some things for you to do.
We'll promote it. We'll promote it and stuff.
Before you go, Kamran, I got at least one super chat directed at you. Our good buddy PJ over in Orville Nation says, "Admire your work, Kamran. Love Lindsay Wagner, and have done several things with her in the past. Wonderful person.
Oh wow!
Did you guys consult her or Kenneth Johnson at all on her modern Bionic Woman project?"
So he's referring to that because I worked on the NBC remake of Bionic Woman, which regrettably did not succeed. I was a producer on the show. I was pushing from I was one of that annoying guy in the writer's room that kept saying the same thing over and over again. And I kept saying, hey guys, maybe we should reach out to Lindsay Wagner. Hey guys, maybe we should reach out to Lindsay Wagner, right? The show, went through a lot of internal chaos. We lost our showrunner in the middle of it, and then we had the writer's strike, which ended up pulling the entire show off the air. And so we never got around to it. I would like to believe that had the show succeeded and we'd not gone through all the chaos, that we would have not only brought Lindsay the opportunity to be a consultant on the show, I wanted to cast her. I kept coming up with storylines for an older woman that would interact with our new Jamie Summers, and that I was always thinking it's got to be Lindsay Wagner, because here's something. I have a huge crush on Lindsay Wagner. She was one of my first crushes when I was a kid arriving in the United States, learning how to speak English from watching these TV shows, right? And it was the Bionic Woman. And so she is one of my earliest crushes. And I was like, oh my God, Lindsay Wagner. I never got it through. And so we tried the whole thing. And with regard to Kenneth Johnson, to my knowledge, he was not consulted. They may have had conversations. Someone in the system might have had conversations with
Isn't
him.
he kind of salty about those remakes and shit, though? Because wasn't he not on board with V and shit like that too, from my recollection?
I don't know that they ever consulted him. And yes, he has been very public about his work being taken in directions he doesn't like. So it is a tragedy. Bionic Woman could have worked in a way to bring them back. I think that would have been the right thing, but it didn't. We didn't have the chance.
Well, they took V away from him.
Great opportunity for a joke about how in Lindsay Wagner's day the dollar went further, so he didn't cost as much to help me out.
So I'm looking up the production schedules of both movies.
Mm-hmm.
They both started production shooting the same month in 2019.
I was going to say,
hell.
Well, I thought it was clear competition and that's what I brought up before, Paulie. That's why I kept bringing it up. But I'm like, but anyway. But I know, Kamran, you got to get running.
I do have to go, and I've left a conspiracy theory for you to think about, Paulie. But my own experiences have, in the same way that I see this industry pushing Latinx, which is not something that's coming naturally out of the Latino culture. This is coming from academics, and it's being pushed through our industry. There are agendas because they recognize the Latino, audience base is such an important economic thing, but it's the club's bigotry and racism and desire to control that audience is very deep. And
they certainly want to put reins on them.
Absolutely. And so this is part of that. So we'll see what happens with West Side Story. It will be very interesting if the PR is that Spielberg got right what Lin-Manuel Miranda got wrong. That's going to be the PR. I will watch what happens because he's the king. He can't do anything wrong except for the last 10 movies he's made, but whatever, and so, that's where we are in the system. So on that note, my friends, I apologize. I do have to head out. So
we'll see in a few weeks. We'll see you in a few weeks on the show.
We'll see a few weeks on the show. And I'm just delighted that there's a forum that we can talk about this, because we're speaking what I think the audience is thinking, and someone has to say it out loud. And I especially want to thank Mike for saying what people are really feeling and are afraid to say out loud.
Well, you're a great insight, but you're also a great bullshit filter. You know what I mean? Because we could all have our opinions or our thoughts on how something might work out there, but like you're really good at shooting down what doesn't hold water.
Well, thank you. I mean, I wanted to be part of the club like everybody else. I went along with it when I thought I had a chance to get into it. And then when I got into it, I realized they didn't want me and they were going to get rid of me as quickly as possible. And so now I have nothing to do but speak the truth, because whatever success I'm going to have for the remainder of my career is going to be done purely through force of will and through divine grace. It will not be done because of the system, because the system already says we don't want this guy to go any further, right?
Yeah, but that's good, because that means if someone does want to work with you, you already know that you're in this place where you could do what you want and actually be creative.
The only people I'm developing projects with right now are people that know exactly who I am. They know my politics. They know my religious beliefs. They know my moral character, and they're good with it. And that's all I need.
And basically, they're actually outside of the system mold in that regard, if that's the case. Because as we all know, every 25 years or so, the system goes through a change. And the people at the top try to hold on. And to elaborate a little bit on your Steven Spielberg comparison, he's the reason that Hollywood is the way Hollywood is. He changed the game. He's one of the fathers of the modern blockbuster. He's got that power. And if you take a look at the people, and especially on the media side of things, that would always look at the next upcoming director and anoint them the next Spielberg, and Spielberg would be very irked by that, but he would go along with it and say, yeah, sure, you're the next me. And then we would watch them never reach the levels of what Spielberg had prior, whether there was behind the scenes stuff or whether the fact that Spielberg knew that these guys were not on his talent level and everybody just wants that next trailblazer. But it's not going to happen, not through the promotion of the media, but through the same means that how Spielberg elevated, which is by people loving his work. And yeah, now we have this thing where I guess he's kind of manipulating a little things right now to make sure that he stays at the top, so that when he goes out, whenever that year will be, he's going to go out on that top and not fade away like Cecil B. DeMille or any other director.
It's as Chancellor Palpatine said to Anakin, remember what you learned from the early days of Jedi teaching, all those who seek power fear to lose it.
Yeah.
And on that note, my friends, I'm going to go deal with my own power struggles in Hollywood. So God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon.
Take care, Cameron. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Good journey, sir.
All right. And with that, we've got some other stuff to discuss, unless Paulie or Mexican Eye-Man or Jesse or Script or anybody else had anything to say about this. Any final thoughts, Paulie?
Well, I can venture the honesty of that. Yes, the Latin market is a huge market for filmmakers. I don't know why it hasn't been utilized as much. I mean, if you want to take a look at something with regards to the Black community, Tyler Perry has done really well, and that model works. And there's no reason why you can't have all those other markets be taken advantage of. And it's really a shame. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that there is a screening process, which I don't like how they're hiring the people that are part of that screening process, which are the readers. These are people that are just out of school. They're young. They don't have a whole lot of world experience. They have internal agendas that have either been, brainwashed into them or something that they picked up with regards to seeing a way to further their career. And so when you do have people that are of various communities that are submitting scripts and stories that can be told, and they don't meet the current agendas that they have, they get tossed aside, and you end up narrowing out your possibilities for this. So yeah, it's foolish. That I think it should actually kind of work into the reverse, is that if you're a studio head and you just don't want the headache and the stress of doing all the craziness that got you to that point, and you kind of want to do a soft retirement, you would go to read scripts, because you would have enough years in the industry to see what works, what doesn't. And if you find a story that's in a new market that could be taken advantage of, that could be very profitable, you would push that up, and you would have the recommendation of your experience to back that. And yeah, unfortunately, that's just not how the system works at this time. I don't even think my suggestion there would be 100% perfect either, but it would definitely at least allow someone who cares more about money and more about taking advantage of every market available to move those people that are from those communities writing those stories at least up another tier, which gets them a little bit closer to those stories being made, and maybe not have La Bamba be the only Latin film that has the best box office return.
Has the highest grossing
Exactly.
box office,
It's just it's a shame because there's definitely stories there that could be told, and those stories actually bring different communities together because we see the overlap in certain mentalities, certain value systems, certain things of that make us a bit more the same, while at the same time celebrating the delights of our differences.
I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulie, I'll let you have the last word, but let me just say something real quick.
Yeah.
I got it's a fact question that I want to answer for people. People keep asking me about this Latinx, and I forgot to answer it in my rant. So the reason I have a problem with Latinx is that things are either Latino or Latina. If you're a guy, you're Latino. If you're a gal, you're Latina. And even in the language, every everything has a masculine or a feminine. You can. Rosita, I mean, either it's an O or an A. So by going Latinx, first of all, that was a term that was originally used for trans people because it signified that you were Latin, but you were in transition. So the origin of the word is foul.
That doesn't scream Danny Trejo to me.
Yeah, exactly. And furthermore, it simultaneously basically is subtly canceling out your gender and basically the way the whole language operates. I mean, literally, it's no different than if you take something and you just dump a whole gallon of bleach. Imagine being in a bathtub and instead of taking a warm bath, someone comes up and just wants you to fill it up with bleach. So when I hear Latinx, I'm going to get triggered like a mofo. And I feel bad that a lot of people, a lot of actors that I actually think are good actors have bought into this and don't really understand the origin of the term and why it can be so offensive. And one of the reasons why is they don't speak a lick of Spanish, and frankly, they've never had embraced anything that's Latino, Latina, Chicano, Chicana. So
could you imagine listening to Spanish if they replaced all the masculine and feminines with an X? It would sound like Pig Latin after a while.
Exactly. And that's the point. The point is to bleach out our culture and take everything away. Anyway, Paulie, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm done.
I'm just trying to connect the Latino divide between Chicanos and Puerto Ricans in the chat. Yeah, no, man. It's there's so many. It brings up so many touchy subjects, but at the end of the day, it's a good film, and it amazes me that that all this stuff that happened, and maybe it was supposed to happen, and it'll bring about some good discussion, and knock some good sense into some of these people. And no film can be that everything to everyone. It's just I asked this early in the Midnight's Edge Español. If you had to choose, would you rather see an action film or a musical? Tax Collector or In the Heights? You can see both, but which one would you want to see first? Boom, they all went Tax Collector. That's just, then you're talking genres. And no one mentioned that this is a really good musical. It's already a niche. Am I right or wrong, Script?
No, musicals are really popular. The only thing that they have going against them is the translation from stage to screen. On the stage, the audiences get really involved in musicals. Doesn't matter what culture you're really from. Like, when you're there, you've got the energy of the actors.
Yeah, live performances are so
really
engaging.
No, I'm talking about box office draw.
Oh, but on box office stuff, musicals do quite well. Not as good as they should, but they do
like an
quite
action
well.
film.
Compared to something like the Tax Collector, you're definitely going to have something far more lucrative in that comparison.
Well, look at the Book of Mormon. How much money has that made?
Yeah, I'm just talking about as far as big musicals that are box office bonanzas. I think they're more niche than action films. That's all I was saying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, they do make their numbers, but when you compare them to the other genres, they're a little bit lower on the tier there. It's just the way they are, and I think that has to do with the fact that there's a different type of energy that's coming from a musical compared to an action or a drama or a comedy. It's
very difficult because a musical is a live performance. A musical is supposed to be put across like a concert or a play. Now, if you film something like that, It's like, have you ever listened to a live tape recording of a live show of your favorite band? It's terrible. The mix is wrong. Nothing works the way it should because it's the wrong medium. So that, even if you're someone who would enjoy a musical, you're not going to gravitate towards film musicals as much as you are towards going to see a show. That's how my brain works anyway.
Well, yeah, you can take a look at the Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, a couple of other Hairspray, for instance, John Waters. Like those, the musical versions of those, even the producers, a bit more, also a bit more popular, but they did well with regards to their film counterparts, but they did not have the same type of reception or explosion that the stage play had, or the stage version.
The only movie that I could really say knocked it out of the park in that regard is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, that became a cult classic, and that's still something.
Yeah, I think the highest grossing musical is still Grease, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Grease is so white bread.
Well, that was just a huge, that was the fucking Star Wars of musicals. You guys, I mean, if you weren't alive at the time, I mean, it was fucking huge. I think it was the biggest movie of '78, if I'm not mistaken.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't it?
No, it's terrible.
Well, even Little Shop of Horrors didn't do that well in the box office. It was kind of like Little Rocky Horror Picture Show, where it got more of a cult following later.
And that's funny because that's one of those movies. Let's see, I always refer to back in the 80s, the same movies were on TV every weekend. And it's true, even though I talk about that like 100 movies, they rotated them.
Yeah.
But, Little Shop of Horrors, you could watch that whenever you wanted. And I did. Because it was always funny.
It's kind of an exception to the rule. Most people who hate musicals are like, "Oh, I like Little Shop of Horrors."
Yeah, actually, Grease was right behind Superman and most successful.
Okay, yeah, Superman came out that year.
Wow.
Yeah, Grease was huge. Everyone had the vinyl.
Yeah, I was thinking '79 was Superman. I was wrong. That's my bad.
That was my first vinyl, double vinyl.
Oh, the soundtrack was huge in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
See, if I think about musicals, I think of Streetcar Named Desire. I think of
well, that's
Mary
in the
Poppins.
heyday. Yeah, that's the heyday of musicals in Hollywood. That's the thing. They used to be like the main draw. After,
Streetcar Named Desire. That's a drama. Tennessee.
Yeah, that is a. I mean, was there a musical? Oh, I think the Stage Partners musical, the film didn't have the songs. I don't think.
No, yeah, like American in Paris.
No, I see. He's thinking of the Simpsons episode.
Yes, I am.
Musical version. Stella.
But the last thing I honestly heard of being a popular musical was the South Park movie because they won awards.
Fell off my pudding. It's trapped forever.
She was gonna bang Flanders. Oh, this thing.
Oh, well, Flanders never would have done it.
You might as well play some CB4 to lead into this one.
Okay, this is
all right.
Oh my good God, Gertie.
What a segue.
Before we do this, though, if you guys remember a while back, we brought up they're doing a race swap on Wonder Years, right? Do you guys recall this at all? Well, we had a trailer drop a month ago and we missed it. You guys want to see it?
What?
Quick?
Oh, I saw that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, here we go.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
It's the little things that you remember all your life.
Oh, baby,
Your first hit, your first kiss. The first time your dad lets you know that he sees you. Well, I still hadn't had the other two, but boy, did that third one feel good.
That was hilarious.
I hated the Wonder Years the first time around.
Wait. Where's Winnie?
Wasn't she the chick with the pigtails?
What'd you do?
Yeah. And his Monkey Jeebus.
What about dark-skinned Latin X representation? What's that? What?
And his Monkey Jeebus says, we've already had a Black Wonder Years. It was called Everybody Hates Chris.
I was just thinking that. That's so on the nose.
Isn't it?
Hell yeah, it is. And it's
I stopped watching
funnier.
ABC years ago.
I mean, if you
God.
We could do a Latino Wonder Years called the Wonder, was it the Wonder Anos?
The Wonder Anal.
Oh God. I'm gonna
Wait, what did you just say?
What?
I don't know the pronunciation of it. I just vaguely know like years is Anos, but it's got the accent over the N.
Años.
Años, yeah.
Not anus.
A-N-O-S.
No, that's the
Script
adult.
doctor got a funny.
No wonder
Script
anus.
doctor got a funny.
That's
over.
why.
He got
Paulie,
a
that's why I
bilingual.
laughed.
He got a bilingual Spanglish funny over.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I laughed my ass off just now. I'm like,
Right.
oh, he's so cute, Script Doctor.
Wonder
He's so
anal.
cute speaking Spanish.
See, you see
I
what's
love
going
Script.
on. You guys, you see what's going on here in the chat. I want you guys to recognize the influence that Mexican Iron and myself have on Script Doctor Tom and Jesse.
Before we get to the
Uh-oh.
story, though, we do have some
Uh-oh.
super chats to get through. And
Yeah,
I
man.
Dude, you're
apologize
way
for that.
behind. All right, I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, no, you're good. You guys
Yeah,
are
I'll
fine.
shut up,
Michael Miller says, if Bat Chick goes down on women, so can Batman. Oh, well, if you guys haven't heard, there was this recent Harley Quinn show. They wouldn't let Batman go down on Catwoman. What do you have to say to that, Bat Tom?
At least they didn't stop the last bunch of times.
What? They won't let him go down? That's just stupid. Who's
Yeah,
not
make me hold
gonna
his
like?
breath for over 3 minutes.
Fuck yeah! Like who can't go? Who like? Okay, if you're dating the Catwoman, how are you not gonna go down on that? Seriously.
Well, it depends how much fur is down there, buddy. I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with.
Have you seen her costume? There's no way that bitch don't wax.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
If she had stubble, it would show up.
That's true.
Trust me on this one.
I'm gonna go get a beer. I'm drinking early tonight, boys. I'm starting to drinking early tonight. I'm gonna go get me a Scotch and rocks. I'll be back.
Not only do I go down on Catwoman, I totally go down on Poison Ivy too. I itch a little bit afterwards.
Did you ever get a
but
reaction from that? I
Yes.
always was curious about that.
yeah, your face gets really red.
Yeah, like it's worth it though, right?
It's like Poison Ivy.
Yeah, but it's totally worth it, right?
Well, yeah.
Because you could just make a bat antidote because you're Batman.
Let me tell you what, Poison Ivy could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
So, well, that's going to end up really hurting after a while.
It's worth it. All right. Well, thank you, Bat Tom.
Every rose has its thorn.
I guess so. So there you go. Sorry for the wait on that, Michael Miller, but we're getting through the super chats now. I appreciate you guys' patience.
So my question with the whole Batman story, though, is
Yeah.
how come they have a problem with him being with Catwoman in some kind of manner, but he was allowed to bang Batgirl in the poor adaptation?
Those are
Killing
different
Joke?
executives, yeah.
What, we're canceled again? Huh? Who's canceled? We're canceled? Uh-oh. Okay, moving on with super chats. We had Elijah Snow come in next. Thank you so much. Says, what made me sad is that they can't attack Miranda for his work or the director, so they attack the casting. Weak. Paulie, Mike, anything to say to that?
Huh?
They're talking about Lin-Manuel. They said,
I was pouring a drink in the next room. Wait, what?
Sorry. They said
it's weak sauce to attack the cast,
not the director. So they attack the casting. Since they can't attack Miranda for his work.
The Deadline story, or
this was the question here. What makes me mad is that they can't attack Miranda for his work or the director, so they attack the casting. Weak. Elijah Snow is asking.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna answer it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're better positioned.
So what I was so what's going on is that they're going after Melissa because she's not backing down and bending the knee on her statement that it's
exactly
the best person got the role, right?
Yep.
No, and they are going after Lin-Manuel and they are going after Chu. It's a shooting gallery right now, man.
I mean, he's
they're going after now Lynn's past casting practices as well. I mean, it's like, dude, like
somebody needs to flip the script and just pull full on Highlander.
Yeah.
And they need to cast every white person in the movie with a black person and vice versa. Then every Asian person with a Latino person and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And then just screw up the script completely and just throw out there like totally straight face and serious and see who gets it and who doesn't. Yes, I know how to lose money. Lots of money. I could live in Hollywood.
Tom, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let's see here. We've got Orville Nation coming in again. He says, "Vaya freaking Gelapoles." Am I saying that right? I'm gonna have to put this in the fucking.
Bring it up.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
I can't bring it up because it's too old, but here I'll put it in the private chat for you.
Okay.
What's this funny word out of Monkey Jeebus?
Monkey Jeebus?
Oh,
toxoplasmosis. It's that disease you get from cat poo.
Via freaking Gipolis? Okay. Gilipolis?
What is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, well,
No
if you
idea.
can help us with that, PJ, if you're still in the chat, I have no idea what you're saying. Hello Lopez, is that what it is? Or no? I don't know what it is. Dr. Coffindale says this would have been my reply. I'd like to answer that question with a question. How about you go fuck yourself? That would have been my reply. I agree with you there, Dr. Coffindales. Jack of all casuals, how you doing? Says, sad to say, this is what would happen if Stand and Deliver came out in today's world. Heavy sigh. Yeah, we kind of discussed that a little bit, Paulie, after our or during our
reunion.
Yeah. Well, before that, actually, we talked about it during the screening. That's what I was trying to think of the word. When we did our watch party.
So, yeah, say this again. I think we're both
said sad to say this is what would happen if Stand and Deliver came out in today's world. Heavy sigh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, and then Mike brought it up. I know these are super chats, so we're gonna answer those. Everything that SJWs fight for nowadays, all those were actually in Stand and Deliver. It's just such an expertly told storytelling, direction, acting, that it was kind of part of the quilt. It was there, but it wasn't like they weren't hammering over your head. They could never do that with that movie today. What if La Bamba came out today with Lou Diamond Phillips as a lead?
Oh, hell no.
Oh my God.
No, only in the independent circuit. Outside of the studio system could you pull that off. And in that case too, you still have the uphill battle of advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, yeah, Stand and Deliver itself was an independent movie. Nobody in the studio wanted it at the time. It had to make its own mark.
Oh yeah, we did get one from Dash Deesh that I think I skipped over accidentally. It says, took my drugs, visited my shrink, had a cold Coke. It's a good day. Go ahead and depress the hell out of me by telling me what they're going to do to my shows. We're getting there, Dash Deesh. We're going to get there in just a couple more super chats here. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. Pilgrim Media sent in a super chat as well. Thank you. It says, good rule of thumb, never apologize to an SJW. Well, that's a good start.
Oh, it's a rule.
It is.
That's like just blowing up your whole exterior wall.
And then PJ,
the enemy in.
Yeah. Orville Nation says pronounced Healy Poyez. If I'm saying it right now. Healy Poyez.
What are you making us say?
I have no idea.
I know, take your cones chichos and manden a mí. Is that it? I know very little Spanish, and it's all from songs.
Yeah, I don't know.
She got weird.
But anyway, so yeah, let's finish up these super chats here. Elijah Snow says, and this is why I sent out my siren call to Mexican Iron Man, because this is what the world needs. Gravity, cannons, and all. Yeah, you came in firing some cannons,
Dude,
didn't you?
he did. I said he hit me once, twice, and then the third time I said, "All right, bro, if you want me up, I'll batter up for you." And so I came in because he nudged me. So, hey, brother, shout out to you.
Awesome. Yeah, I was hoping to have you pop in here anyway. So let's get to the next one here. It is from Orville Nation again. It says Edward James almost would have set her straight for sure. Bendijo, Mike. Or Bendijo? B-I-E-N.
Pendejo.
Bendejo. That's what I thought. But I couldn't say it. Yeah, if she would have like let me put it like this. If that chick was working for us and she would have asked Edward James almost that question, even if it wasn't the first question, I would have shit canned her right there in front of everybody. But anyway, Nikki D says Victoria Alonso says the MCU will prioritize representation. Does that mean good storytelling will be tertiary moving forward?
Moving forward,
yes.
it's tertiary for the last six movies.
I was going to say, go ahead on that one, Script. That's your domain.
Listen, Disney has its own agenda with how they want to work with Marvel Studios, and yeah, we've been getting some really good moments within the last few films, but they haven't really been anything groundbreaking. In
They're assembly line movies.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, yeah, there are certain things that are going on there. There's no real distinct directors mark on a lot of them. They're few and far between, and they made the dumbest mistake ever by incorporating time travel into their closer of their saga, which should not have been done. And
it's
now
hack. Time travel to paint yourself out of a corner is hack.
Yeah. But the thing is, they didn't even have to use it to put themselves in that corner. Like, that's the other part too. Like, it was completely not required. And now we're seeing that the formula they've been using to adapt sort of like TV style writing into the film, they're doing the inverse for their Disney Plus stories, and it's not doing well. The first two shows we've seen so far were much more plotted out for films and probably would be superior in that form than in TV. So yeah, I don't think storytelling is at the level that they think it is, even though it is a little superior to some of the other competition, especially at Warner Brothers right now. But yeah, the other part too is like she's completely conflating the idea I was talking earlier, which is that you have to take advantage of every market available to you, and you don't do that just by pandering. You do that by just telling really great stories, and if you do it well and you get the right people involved and you hit the demographics that you want to hit, and you make those demographics liking it a byproduct of the good story, not the preachiness of it, then yes, you kind of have your cake and eat it too with regards to that representation talking point. But that doesn't seem to be the case
inherently
right now
strong characters and scripts.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Inherently strong characters and scripts.
Not only that, just solid directing, good production team, good cast. Like, all those things have to come in and work well together in order for the miracle of completing a film to be achieved. So yeah, it's not an easy task to do, but the thing is, you got to priority the quality and the merit of the work itself as a whole before you start and instead of leading that charge with representation. It's like, well, if you do your job right and you want to hit those demographics, you're going to end up representing them regardless.
The pandering is so brutally obvious that I don't see how anybody could not find it off-putting or to just be completely disgusted by it and ignore that property completely. You know what I mean? And then, you were just saying about how hard it is to actually pull together a film. Then now this is the foot you're going to put forward with the public. You're going to annoy most of them. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And that leads right into this Perfect Strangers reboot. Because listen to the resume. Just listen to the resume. Speaks for itself.
Oh, I know of her shows.
Well, we got one more super chat, and we'll get into that. Fred Sacco says, Geeks and Gamers asked when we see a clueless female paired with a cuck show. We already have it. The current administration. Yeah. I think that's one way you can put it. But yeah.
All right, so thinking of clueless women, we've got this Perfect Strangers reboot.
Yes, let me get to this so I can read it. Perfect Perfect Strangers, the 1980s sitcom starring Mark Lynn Baker and Bronson Pinchot, or Pitchell, however you say it, is the latest comedy to get reboot, with Robin Thede and London Hughes as leads. The project, which is in development as a series at HBO Max, will be written by a Black Lady sketch show creator and star Thede. The streamer has given the half-hour multi-camera comedy a script development deal. It will follow Perfect Strangers.
What the hell does multi-camera comedy mean?
Oh, that's your sitcom.
Okay.
That's like your Friends. That's a multi-camera.
There you go.
Your 30 Rock is a single
laugh
camera.
track and all that shit. So it's gonna be a basic sitcom. All right. It will follow the Perfect Strangers Deja, played by Thede, and Poppy, played by Hughes, who unexpectedly discovered they are half sisters when they both inherit a one-bedroom apartment above a trap yoga studio in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, polar opposite. Why don't they just make a new show?
Well, here's the other
It
part
is a
too.
new
Is that
show.
they're
That's
half
not the premise of
means they have the
Perfect
same.
Strangers.
No. Here's the other problem. They're half sisters, which means they have the same single parent, which means that they don't come from a broken family. Whereas I think the original ones, they were cousins.
Yeah,
So,
they
like,
were
they came
cousins.
from a family.
They were actually
a traditional
distant.
family.
Cousin Larry already had a job in an
barely
apartment.
related. Yeah, like
Yeah, but they come from a family, two parents and
Yeah.
themselves, like a proper nuclear family. Here, it's a broken family where where one of their parents has slept around.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah,
Yeah, it's already a bad vibe.
It's already
You
a
know what I
negative
mean?
stereotype within the culture.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Balky was from a fictional island
Wow.
where everything was like, simpleton and goofy. And it was a fish out of water, and it was, little guy in the big city. That was the whole humor of the show. This is just going to be an excuse to bitch.
What were you going to say, Mike?
So, wait, so they're black girls instead of white cousins?
Yeah.
They're, I guess, black half sisters. Yes.
Wow. Well, it's pretty.
Oh, wait a minute. Has this been cast yet?
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
It is
Oh,
statistically accurate.
If they
We
both
could have gotten
inherit the
we could have gotten
apartment,
that interviewer could have given her one of the roles.
if they both inherit this apartment, which one of them is the fish out of water?
Okay, so
Neither
wait,
of them.
what-
Their conflict is sharing the apartment. It's an I Love
Yeah.
Lucy episode drawn out for a season.
So why did they just
Okay,
remake
and then
I Love Lucy?
Are they also going to show how no men are going to want to date them and they're going to buy a dog and die alone? Or is that going to be part of the storyline in season 2?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it was a cat. Inspired by the original series produced by Miller Boyett Productions, not really, that ran for 8 seasons and 15 episodes between 8 seasons and 15 episodes. What? I think that means like probably 215 episodes, probably, or something like that, between 86 and 93 on ABC. The original starred Lynn Baker, as a Midwestern American. We all know it. We've all seen it. Who hasn't seen fucking Perfect Strangers, right?
Most people born after 1998.
Yeah, well. Hughes, who had a recent role in Fleabag, Thede is wrapped by blah, blah, who cares? So yeah, here's the two ladies that are cast in the roles. I think they kind of missed the point of Perfect Strangers.
A little bit. Which one of them is going to be goofy?
These women aren't dark enough.
Don't be ridiculous.
Not dark enough. Oh, shit.
Cousin Larry.
Wait, who said that they were dark enough? Who said that on the panel?
Paulie.
Me.
That was Paulie?
Well, I just think that one of the roles should go to the In the Heights interviewer.
I think one of the roles should go to
deserves a better
Bronson
job.
Pinchot. He's still alive.
I was about to say I want a white Family Matters, but don't nobody need a white Urkel. So,
Oh, God. He'd be a ginger.
I mean,
Paulie, you know what, though? The one they did cast on the bottom right of the photo, she's got that same color lipstick as the interviewer. Maybe that's the hot new trend now. We need. All right, guys, everybody, forget Bitcoin. We're gonna buy and invest in red glow in the dark YouTube red lipstick. All right, everybody, we're going long here. Margin up. Script, I need to borrow $10,000 to buy some stock in red YouTube lipstick.
No, it can only be Canadian, so it's not going to be worth much.
With the way the stock market has been since a certain thing happened in the election, whatever. I don't know what's a nice way to say this. But it's been in the shitter, and any investment I do would be pretty good at this point because most of the normal stuff is just going. When I'm starting to pull money out, shit's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I first heard of this, I'm just like, son of a bitch, just like everything else, like the Wonder Years one we just watched the trailer for. Just why? Come up with something new. The plot, the idea itself is unique enough. You could have just come up with something new.
Well, that's too difficult to market, Tom, because that's the problem. The advertising guys, the marketers, are at the development stage instead of the selling stage. They're not the Don Drapers. They're the people that are there saying yes or no because we want to make it an easy sell. The premise here is not entirely 100% original, but it doesn't need the Perfect Strangers branding on it. But someone feels like the only way people are going to watch this is if they have a recognizable brand name.
Yeah, it's take your shitty idea and put a popular skin on it to trick people into watching something and then make them hate that original franchise as well as the one you just put out. So you kill two birds with one stone and you can make no money.
It's the veneer effect. Yeah, it's basically take something completely different, put a veneer of it to make. So you take cardboard and you put a veneer of hardwood on it, and you're like, yeah, it's just the same until you try to put something on that table and it collapses.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it just proves to me that cocaine never left Hollywood.
No, I think they switched over to a couple of other types of drugs that are just less creative.
Oh, they're just on the flacken now. I get it.
Well, not only that, again, like the biggest obstacle I've ever had in the industry has not usually been producers. It's been advertisers, people in marketing who are also giving a producer or a direction a credit, which means that, yeah, they're not the ones that should be making movies. And I would put this comparison. I did so on Robert My Burnett's show the other day, which is that, do you want your used car salesman to also be the auto manufacturer, the guy who's making the car at the same time? Like, no, you don't. You want someone who actually knows how to make a car, and you want someone who knows how to sell a car to sell a car. There's very important department separation there that's required. But in Hollywood, no, they're doing the same. They're like, well, we think the person who's selling it should also be involved in making it in some way, or at least relaying the decision. And that just is antithetical to creativity. If anything, the product should be so good in and of itself, it inspires the advertisers once they see it and be like, we know how to sell this. But we haven't had that type of model in the industry for quite some time. And that's why we're getting these very easy, quick reboots and reimaginings or reinvigorations or whatever.
Now compare this bullshit to the origin of Perfect Strangers. Now, back in the day, Bronson Pinchot, he was actually in Beverly Hills Cop before he got the gig on Perfect Strangers.
Yep.
Now, Tom Cruise had told Bronson, don't ever do television or you'll always be on television, right? So he was like, I got bills to pay. So they came up to him with this show, and he was basically like, I have to do this. So, he went and he played the idiot. But it takes a smart person to play an idiot. Well,
unless you're Ashton Kutcher.
Yes. Then you just go in and you're just like, hi, I'm Tony Danza.
No, but that's true. At that time, TV was its own kind of talent division. You rarely, you don't go from movies to television. You go from television to movies.
Unless it was very small parts.
Yeah, but Bronson was a very talented. Like, Bronson primarily is a character actor. He's not a leading man. He's well aware of that, and he's very talented in doing that as well. But he still has a career. He still makes money and stuff like that. So it's good for him. He may not be Tom Cruise, but then again, not everybody wants to be Tom Cruise. Sometimes they just want to have fun making roles and doing what they do well.
And the thing is that right off the bat, these two guys liked each other and they had good chemistry. Because I forget the guy's name who plays Larry, but he was talking about how they were completely different in the way they approached getting to the same spot as far as a comedy routine would go. And that's why they played well off of each other, because they were completely different than one another, but they were going down the same path.
Oh yeah, they had the same goal, but different methods.
And I like analyzing silly shows. It's something because I'm a nerd at heart, but like This was a show that was full of catchphrases and predictable gags and stupid shit that would make you cringe and roll your eyes now looking back at it. But they also had a shit ton of great episodes, like when they got caught in an avalanche and they had to dig their way out. You remember that? Then there was the one where the basement flooded. They were caught in quicksand once. I don't even remember why.
Sitcoms of the 80s, man. First of all, Perfect Strangers spun had a spin-off from that. That Family Matters spun off from Perfect Strangers. The elevator operator was the wife of was the mom on that show. I mean, it was a big hit. It led to ABC.
Now, wasn't Family Matters on longer than Perfect Strangers?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big show.
Yeah, but Perfect Strangers is where Family Matters spun off of. But yeah.
Oh no, that's like with Cheers and Frasier. That's just it has there are some of those shows that have that relationship. Yeah.
Well, Cheers, I would still argue, is the bigger of the two. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Unless you were saying something different. Anyway.
No, that was Cheers to what, like 11, 12 seasons. Frasier did 10, I think.
Well,
and then it's getting another revival, another sequel series again.
They fuck with Cheers, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, they will.
Well, I mean, only after Jim Burrows passes away, because he's part of the creator and he's got a lot of rights for that show.
Oh, this just in breaking news. The interviewer of the In the Heights has been cast as Sam Malone in
Fuck
Cheers.
you, Polly.
I'm reading right here. It's the new deadline.
Does she also have a hairpiece?
Her and her lipstick got a 3-picture deal and the television rights to Cheers. The lipstick is optional.
Oh, Christ. All right.
One other thing about Perfect Strangers is that for as stupid of a show as it was, they did have some touching moments.
It's a great show.
Yeah, like I severely doubt anything on television now is going to be able to play between, slapstick comedy and absurd situations and being actually touching with character interplay. I just don't see it happening.
Definitely those touching moments of that time would be considered cringe of that era, but now it'd be considered a little endearing by comparison.
Well, and the show never pretended to be anything more than what it was. And it's just one of those shows that, to me, I think still stands the test of time because it has like a very evergreen premise.
Do you remember when Balky dressed as a ninja?
Well, of course. Everybody loves this show. I mean, I watch it whenever I can. It was in HD on Hulu. I don't know if they moved it from there to HBO Max yet, but I haven't watched it in a while. But it's a great show.
Elephant in the room about Perfect Strangers, though. How is Larry pulling that blonde? Seriously, I just want to know. Inquiring minds, because she was hot.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Larry did for her as a career in that show.
You don't remember what their career was? They worked for the antique shop.
Oh, right. Yeah, so you know what? Maybe she just had a fetish for antiques.
I don't know. I think she just liked little squirrely guys. There was that's the thing is Larry was kind of like that 80s type. You had a lot of guys kind of like him in the 80s that Gene Wilder, Steve Guttenberg kind of type.
Yeah, we get to talk about him today too.
Oh yeah. If we get to everything here, we got some news to keep going. And we were going way over schedule, but yeah, we still actually have some more stories to get through, believe it or not. Let's see here.
Well, he did mention Gene Wilder types, so that's a good segue.
Well, yeah, why don't we do that? You're right. Since that's one you both brought up. Because nobody really gives a shit about this, and I'm really against this, but hey. Nathan Crawley has joined Wonka. According to our sources at Discussion Film, Wonka will be a musical origin set in the mid-19th century England during the Industrial Revolution, where Willie is said to be a man who sees color within the gray of dreary England. Filming is eyed to begin in September. We learned originally that Nathan Crawley will serve as the production designer on Paul King's live-action Wonka origin movie. Coming from highly acclaimed Paddington director Paul King, who has also written the script alongside Simon Farnaby. If I could talk tonight, Jesus Christ. The film will be produced by David Hyman under Hyman Film banner, which produced Paddington. Timothy Lachey has recently been announced to be taking on the lead role of Willy Wonka, and nobody fucking cares.
I care a little bit because, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is an absolutely perfect movie.
Well, that's what I mean. Nobody wants another one.
Yeah, it's impossible to make a prequel to a perfect movie. It's just asinine to even try. Now, like in the newer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp, they did have a little 4 or 5 minutes where it went into his little childhood past and all that, and it was pointless. But like, if you're talking about the real movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they made a movie for kids that was a morality tale about being good and having a good heart and telling the truth, right? But at the same time, for an adult watching this movie, it's got so many layers and so many fan theories. And it's just like you see all the different little relationships between everyone and everything in this movie. And it's just, don't mess with it. You're not good enough.
Well, not only that, I mean, there's the tone of Willy Wonka is very, very important. And there's no way you can use that tone in an origin film of this character. They don't coalesce. It's not right. It's not going to line up. There's no way it can be done. So really, you're already starting at way, way further away from the start line than you want, and trying to get to that point by the end of the film where that tone is going to match into this film that's already been around for 40 years. It's an incredible feat. I'd be really impressed if they pulled it off, but I just don't know if that's going to be the case.
But you're right. Even just take all the cinematography out of it. Let's just go with the color palette, okay? Just to make the movies line up to each other, you're going to have to imitate the color palette of the original movie. How are you going to do that?
I wasn't thinking about that. I was talking about like the character tone, the behavior, the sort of music of the story in and of itself. It's
every aspect is impossible.
It's kind of like a fairy tale that has that rewarded ending at the end. So what is the origin going to be? Willy Wonka travels to the Oompa Loompa land and has to fight for his life and rescue the Oompa Loompas to make his candy factory. That tone is not the same as going on a tour of a deadly chocolate factory. There's an irony that's missing from that. It's very, very difficult to understand. If they do have an answer to that, I will be incredibly impressed and happy to watch it. But that's a tough order to fill.
I could make a way cooler prequel to Willy Wonka, and I'll tell you how. Look, right in the beginning, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What's the setup? No one's been seen going in or out of the factory in 3 years, right? So at some point, he had a mental break, right? Because he does have a good heart and all that. But he is contributing to the gimme, gimme, gimme culture, the always wanting more culture, and everything that he hates. And that's where all of his money is coming from. So he became a recluse, right? So what's he do? He decides he's going to set a contest so he can find the one person that could redeem the world to him. A pure-hearted kid that he could give everything he has to so he could just move on to the next chapter, whatever that may be. So what's he do? He hires a guy who has no discernible job within his own company that he renames the alias of Slugworth. And he sends them after these kids. And he was stalking these kids because each one of those tickets was given to each one of those children deliberately. Otherwise, there would be no reason for Slugworth to be in every scene of every ticket finding. Right?
Okay.
So he made sure to take one kid that represented every one of the bad traits. There was sloth and gluttony with Gustav. There was greed with, Veruca. There was just bad manners, piggish behavior.
Gluttony, disrespect. Yeah, like the 7 deadly sins.
Yes, but kiddie versions. Mm-hmm. But he killed all those kids. Right? Charlie would have died too. Why? Because it wasn't because of Charlie being bad. The worst influence in that movie was Grandpa Joe.
There's a reason we don't see that elevator land, Jesse.
Look, Grandpa Joe was in a bed, right, at the beginning of the movie, right?
Because he just wanted to be. He just didn't care.
Because he wanted to be. Exactly. He was faking it. He was fake cripple.
He's faking. He's lethargic. Yeah.
Yeah. The mother is out there working. The kid is out there working. But Grandpa Joe's lying in bed. The second that he gets a golden ticket, well, Charlie gets the golden ticket. He starts singing, "I've got a golden ticket," and he starts dancing around the room like a professional dancer. I thought you were crippled.
The other three grandparents are. They're not dancing around.
Yeah, right. So then, the hardworking mother doesn't get to go to the factory. The guy who's been faking being a cripple for the last 10 or 15 years gets to go to the factory with the kid. So the first thing he does is he says, sign the waivers. Go ahead. Sign it nice and big. Be proud. Well, bad advice from Grandpa, just to get his ass in the door. Okay. Then what's the next thing Grandpa does to screw him over? He starts making remarks about all the other kids' behavior. And then when they get into the bubble soda room, he's like, "No one's looking. Let's steal some."
Yep.
Right? He almost kills his
telling
grandson.
The everlasting gobstopper and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to die in that room. That's why there was no grate over that fan in the ceiling. The burping thing to come back down was by accident. So it was like that was the whole character of the grandfather was just a test. Like, here's the worst person possible for an influence, and let's see if he can overcome that as well before he even overcomes the test of the factory. So, like, that I really like. There's like all these little layers.
In the end, though, I really don't want a prequel because you take away the mystery of the character. That's what was the problem I had with the Tim Burton version. I didn't need to know why he wanted to make a candy factory because he had a dad who was a dentist and wouldn't allow him to eat candy. That is fucking dumb.
Anything but catastrophe.
That's right, Paulie.
Suddenly I began.
Stephen Otten says script. There has been a Wonka prequel screenplay floating around for a while now. Is this the new draft based on that one, or do you know anything about it?
Well, I do have it. It's by Jason McAuliffe. And that's been floating around since 7, 8 years now.
What was the basic premise of that?
It is an origin of it. I think it's told in flashback. Yeah, I read it years ago. I don't remember much of it, which is probably not a good thing. But yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does talk about Lupa Land. And
guys, whatever they put together this time around, whatever they do to this property, all I can say is this: when they cast this cast and they do this factory, it better be all Mexicans. Because if they made a factory today, my people would be there on the front lines doing the hard chocolate work every day.
Well, aren't Oompa Loompas Mexican?
Well, you could get a lot of Oompa Loompas from the luchador community. I'm not fucking with you. When they made this movie, they couldn't find enough midgets, so they had to go to England.
I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, can they just leave anything alone? Is there no creative people in Hollywood writing anything creative or new? I mean, there's just nothing out there.
There's lots of people. You're just not going to hear about it because there's no advertising dollars behind it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Like, Hollywood's bigger than Disney. Hollywood's bigger than Warner Brothers and Sony. There's all these other little studios out there. The only reason you're not seeing those films is because they don't have the budgets and they don't dominate the narrative of the media. You have to go out and look for them. And I challenge every single person out there, go Google movies made in 2015 or 2016. You will see a whole lot of films listed there that you never saw an advertisement for that might be really great. And that's just the nature of the industry. Like it's a lot bigger than just a couple of studios. The studios just dominate the narrative at the moment. So yeah, there's a lot of creative people, there's a lot of talented people, but there's a lot of walls to overcome and hop in order to get that, project done and out to people. It's not easy. It is every film that is released. It's a miracle it got released. That's the truth. It's very hard. One thing can go wrong and tear the whole thing apart, but a billion things have to go right in order for it to be released.
Yeah, that's my favorite saying. Mag sends us a Shiba dog farting hearts. I love those little dogs farting hearts. Thank you so much for that. And Trenchman says Tobin Bell as Willy Wonka. Make it happen.
He's still alive?
Is he? I don't know. Just so long as I'm just sick of this shit. I don't need another one.
As long as he's still a serial killer.
We already got one. Well,
I love the part that Gustav and his mother get eliminated from the tour. So then the boat shows up, and there was never a seat for Gustav and his mother.
Nope.
Then after the next room, the next vehicle doesn't have a seat for those two people either, because he knows he's going to get rid of two people in every room. It's
He's
awesome.
tempting them. Yeah, he's tempting he's tempting them all, and knowing that one out of all of those groups is going to fall for that temptation and be removed. And it's brilliant. There's so much fun to that. And they were having to write that script constantly while they were also doing the music for it. It's a crazy production history for Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I highly recommend people search it out. I think there's a few documentaries on YouTube, and I'm certain there's one at least on Netflix.
And it all ends in a good deed shining in a weary world.
Yep.
Now, do you think at the end of the movie, when they left in the Wonka Vader, it shows it going up and starting to go down? Do you think that it was a murder-suicide?
No, Wonka pushes him.
Well, you think it landed safely?
For Wonka, yeah. Trench
I have
Man.
a lot of weird thoughts about that.
I have a casting idea for Willy Wonka.
Let me guess, it's what's her face from the In the Heights interview.
It's the interviewer from In the Heights. Yes. How did you know?
Is she all the Oompa Loompas?
She will be the head Oompa Loompa, and instead of
she already got the makeup kit.
Yeah, she got the makeup kit. Instead of the white eyebrows, would be red.
Oh my gosh. Trenchman says, "Hello, Grandpa Joe. I want to play a game," says Tobin.
yeah, Willy Wonka is Jigsaw, dude.
Would you like to play a game?
It's like Arcade's Murder World. Each one of those rooms was specifically designed for one of those kids that he had Slugworth stalk.
This fucking kid shot me in the face.
Oh my god.
Yo, when he pushes Gustav into the river, and the mother says, "Aren't you going to do something?" What did he say? Do you remember?
Please help, police.
Please, yes, please help. Won't somebody call the police?
No, stop! Don't do that.
Oh no, stop! Murder! Someone call the police.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You just rub it in their faces.
Ponderous, man.
Fucking ponderous.
It is.
But why is this set in the 18th century and shit, or the 19th century or whatever?
Because the director had the film filmed in Germany, in Munich, I think, so that it would look like an old-timey place, but you wouldn't be able to pick it out as any specific place. So then these new people take it as that means that it was in the 1800s.
I'm all ready, Mama.
It was a contemporary movie at the time, as far as I know.
Oh, what the hell is that? Polly. He's vacuuming.
Wasn't me.
Or a police scanner.
Did you have to go, Mike? I know you said I think you had to leave.
Yeah, I got to run. I got a client call at 7:30 California time in 30 minutes. So thank you guys. Right. Jesse, it's always awesome. Script, always awesome. Tom, thank you so much. You're always awesome.
Of course,
and the great Polly, Slant. Polly, you rock.
And thank you for telling me the truth.
And thanks for the rant.
Hey, thanks for being my friends and my brothers. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, we
See you
love
guys
you
later.
Mike. Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
What's that? What's that?
Oh, you were vacuuming. And you left your mic on.
Oh, was it on?
Yeah. It was like,
I turned on the blow dryer. I'm getting ready.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
You fancy man.
No, we're washing the kids, and they got to get. I had to change my shirt because we're gonna put one of the wet dogs right here, and then have the blow dryer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got one more story to go through here. I think we might get to one more other than this, but evidently Jared Leto's Morbius is set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, according to the actor.
Is it Jared Leto the actor or another actor?
To one actor. Oh, that's true.
It just is according to one actor, and I'm like,
very good catch there.
Yeah,
this comes from the direct. Every MCU fan is in some way, shape, or form aware from what?
I just had an idea, man.
What?
I just had an idea.
Well, I hate it when that happens.
Hey. Let's get we got to give her a name from the interviewer. What's her name?
I don't know her fucking
with the hat
name.
and lipstick. No, we got to give her like I say
Blatina.
Blatinix. I say we give her.
Blatinix, there you
We
go.
put Blatinix in every. We superimpose her in every new show. Wonder Years starring Blatinix. Morbius
What
starring.
would you do if I sang out of tune?
What do you say,
That's
chat?
not how you sell a product. You got to put a hot chick in.
Walk out on me.
She's in Wonder Years. She's in Willy Wonka. She's now going to be Morbius starring Blatinix.
Why are you here? You ain't dark enough.
Blatinix.
We could take
You
a picture
too
of her
white
face
to
and
be
put a
in this
puppet mouth
motherfucker.
over it. Make her say whatever we want.
Okay, so of course
So
the best part of
problematic.
it all is that fans have
Ooh,
gotten
that's
to
a good
see-
one.
What?
Wonka in East LA, played by Cheech Marin. Yeah.
Hey kids, come into the factory. We're gonna.
I'm just thinking about the Dust to Dawn
I was just
scene.
gonna say that we got red pussy, we got black pussy, we got yellow pussy.
We got apple pie
We
pussy.
got red candy, black candy.
You can buy pussy cheaper. Fuck it.
You just see all the parents sitting there or standing there with their hands over the kids' ears, just looking. I'm like, dude, no, stop.
We'll get it done, DC Dead DC, but it has to star Blatinix.
Okay, there was an update to this whole thing, but I guess this come from Tyrese Gibson. Gibson is who said this shit. According to an interview from comicbook.com, when talking about the upcoming Morbius film, star Tyrese Gibson, who is playing FBI agent Simon Strode in the Sony Marvel film, seems to confirm that the film is in the MCU. When asked directly if the film is part of the MCU in the Avengers world, Gibson gave a blunt but honest yes.
He has no deciding power in that.
Yeah. Despite the answer given by Gibson being pretty clear, it's hard to take this as an official confirmation. There's always the chance that the actor is mistaken about what the MCU really means. Instead of maybe believing that all Marvel characters are inherently in that universe, in other words, it could simply have been a mistake. Of course, plans to merge all of these many franchises that Sony has alongside the MCU have been rumored for quite a while. These plans are much easier to do with the upcoming multiverse storylines about to pop up. The key example is the likelihood of a past Spider-Man showing up to help Tom Holland in Spider-Man No Way Home. The multiverse angle could, but we already knew this shit.
This sounds like shock testing to see how the fans will react to it, but also sounds like
no, this
kinda
actually
slipped
goes
and broke a
along.
non-disclosure, and then they're cleaning up after.
No, there was the deal when the new deal for Spider-Man was made. There was some talk of it being a bit more getting things directly involved. And in the Morbius trailer, there is a shot of Spider-Man on the wall, but it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Weird.
And again, there's like no way. It doesn't sound like Venom 2 is going to sync up in any way with anything Spider-Man.
I wanted to talk about Venom 2 and see what
Yeah.
you guys thought about Cletus Cassidy being played by Woody Harrelson.
I think he'll do all right.
Yeah.
I think he'll do okay, even though like he is so not like the comic book character. Like, he's twice the age. He doesn't look anything like him. Carnage looks like an evil Archie.
Jesse, have you seen the Saw movies? I haven't really seen them, so I don't know how to do the guy.
I saw the first couple.
Okay, he says do Willy Sonka's voice.
Oh, I don't know.
How does the guy sound? Do you want to play? I don't remember how he sounds.
It's like a gargly, like your gluttony is now your end, or
There
something.
you go.
Like that.
Now you got script acting here. Your gluttony is now your end. Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough. Good.
Sponsored by Blatinix lipstick.
Blatinix lipstick. If it's
Comes
not red
in
enough,
comes in commie red.
yeah.
Red means stop.
So yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I know there was a whole thing with Kevin Feige supposedly helping with Venom a little bit, or actually more than just a little bit. And I know he's attached kind of to this, I think, in a way too, isn't he?
Yeah, honestly, my opinion on all this shit right now is that all these superhero movies are going to have to severely up their game with the next round of movies for me to even think about giving a shit. Because right now they're all smecking of late 90s, early 2000s, like Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer vibes to me right now. And make me give a shit again.
Have you seen the trailer for Morbius yet?
Yes.
I actually dug it. I'm kind of looking forward to this one, and I don't like.
But
Jared
you know,
Leto
it's
at
just
all.
like I already know what's going to happen. So like, why?
Mm. I get where you're coming from, but he's not like somebody we've seen a lot of times in anything.
Yeah, but look, they laid it out that he's like a doctor, right? They laid it out that he's smart. They laid it out that he's looking for a cure, and you know he becomes a vampire.
I get a lot of
the
Hulk
second
vibes
movie.
out of it. Yeah,
Just show up for the second movie. You
You're
already know
probably
he's going
not
to become
wrong.
a doctor vampire.
See, now I was trying to be positive, and you're shitting on it.
I can't help it. It's just the way things are.
Script,
Give me a good X-Men movie. That's all I want. No Hugh Jackman bullshit.
You mean Latinx movie or X-Men?
And everybody's like, well, Logan was great. No, Logan sucked. Okay.
Logan is
they
now
have the
played-
comic book of the movie in the fucking movie. Take yourself seriously.
I think X-Men should actually be a miniseries as opposed to a feature film venture.
Yeah.
It's got such complex characters. You need that time that a series can provide that you can't get in a film.
Yeah, it makes me just want to go watch the animated series again and call it a day.
Yeah.
Oh, they just came in with a new color, Wokoso Red.
Wokoso Red?
Not Wokoso Blue.
Not Wokoso Blue. Paulie, anything to say about Morbius or Script? Anything you know about this?
No, other than that, so far people who have been seeing the dailies and its edits have been pretty happy with it. So we'll take that for what it is.
Didn't they have a trailer like 2 years ago?
They had the trailer
Been a
early
while.
last year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it looked good. That's all I got.
I thought so until
Definitely
fucking
has that Sony Venom style that they're using for it. Not so much the actual MCU style, which is a little bit of a nice change. But yeah, well, just wait and see. I'm curious.
Look, this is Batman Begins, except instead of kung fu, it's science, and instead of Batman, it's vampire.
Could be. I mean, the other part too is like I'm not a big fan of using villains as the headers for a superhero franchise. I mean, one of the more interesting parts about a superhero film is learning about the villain that they're going against and that drama between both their goals. But here we just have the villain on their own with no real outside obstacle happening. I mean, it kind of worked for the Joker. Joker was its own thing, and now they're kind of and Venom had its own part, but they'd made him far more heroic than a villain, at least in that case. And yeah, it's a weird formula that they're
that's a good point.
He's like softy Venom.
Why the fuck? Okay, first of all, we bitch enough about these movies as it is, but I just want to bring this point up. Whatever happened to the basic concept? This is how you do your Superman franchise. Your first movie, as we know, always introduces your superhero. You have their basic villain. It's usually better to fill it with one of the lesser villains in the first round, in my opinion. Like, to me, starting off Batman with the Joker was a bad move, but we'll get into that in a different point of the conversation here. But I think you're right, Script. This whole idea of, you start your first movie off, that one kind of concentrates a bit more on the superhero. And then when you go from there, the bad guys are always the infinitely more interesting characters. Batman got it right at first for the first 3 movies. Superman got it right for the first couple movies. I mean, why did they stray from that kind of? I mean, they still have it in certain aspects of the genre, but it's almost like they forgot that.
Well, it's because what we're seeing now is something new by comparison, and that's what really sells in Hollywood. Give me something new. Give me something I haven't seen before. Give me something that I'm not going to be able to know the ending within the first 10 pages of the story.
Yeah, but they still already are.
Yeah.
But now they're blurring that line, like you were just saying. Is now we got villains playing heroes. Heroes are fucking villainous. They do shit they shouldn't do.
No, you're not wrong there. But here's the other part too. So as much as they tout those phrases I just said a moment ago, their bar for what is new and what's different is incredibly low. Like, you just need to have one difference, and they'll be like, okay, that's new, that's different.
If it was something I didn't like, but it was artistic, I would be able to see that it was artistic, and I'll be able to at least enjoy it on that level. But there is no art in any of this shit anymore. It's just a big bag of dicks. And no one wants it.
In some cases, yeah, that's.
It's like Superman. Look at Superman. How do you write a Superman movie? It's really easy.
Yeah.
You show the world. You make everyone in the audience lose all hope because it's over. But there's this one guy, and when he shows up, everything's okay. Okay? Because the whole movie is just about hope. It's not about a symbol of justice and, truth and blah, blah, blah. It's not about the villain. It's not about the good guy. It's just about hope.
Well, it's about persistence, temperance, resilience, moral
Why
character.
is Batman Returns the movie that's treated the villains the best? I'm not kidding. Like, go
because
look,
Danny
think about
DeVito
it
is
for a minute.
excellent.
Well, no, but think about
Max
it for a minute.
Schreck was the villain, and Penguin was.
Yeah.
There's 3 fucking villains in that movie, and they're at 3 different levels and calibers, and it's you're right. Max Schreck is your main antagonist. Like, he's the worst of the bad guys if you really think about it.
He's manipulating everybody.
Yeah. And then you
He
got
threw the hot
Catwoman.
chick out a window.
Yeah, and then you got Catwoman, who's kind of a gray area, but she still doesn't wind up that movie being a real hero.
No, she's on a revenge mission to get Max Schreck. Yeah.
And then you have the Penguin, who's your tragic villain, right? But at the same time, he just relishes that. Like, Danny DeVito makes that character. I know some people are not a fan of that version of the Penguin, but that's my favorite
How could you
version
not
of
be
Penguin.
a fan of that, dude? Like, when he bit that guy's nose.
Could be worse.
Did you know that
when that's also
when
creepy.
they needed to have him come back in and do voiceovers to get the audio right, he actually made them put all of the makeup back on him?
Well, it's because he couldn't do the voice or get into the character. I remember hearing that.
That's
interview.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's awesome, though.
Well, he said it was so liberating when he got into that costume. Like, that character just came out of that costume, he said.
Yeah. I like when he's putting the button on the chick's shirt. He's like,
Yep.
hold on, let me get that for you.
Yeah, just the pussy I was looking for.
Yeah.
I ought to have you spayed. You send out all the signals. I love that.
Yeah, I give her credit for putting that bird in her mouth. That thing
Yeah,
could
she
shit
did.
in her
That's a
mouth.
real bird. Yeah, she really
That's
did.
a good
that.
movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of all of the superheroes, even the fucking Infinity fucking Stone movies. I'm not even kidding. Like, that is the first and only movie I can say that ever really treated its villains with the most respect you could have, and it got them. It balanced out the movie. Even you had stuff in there for Bruce Wayne to do, as much as Michael Keaton doesn't think he did.
Well, I mean, you had Michael Keaton actually exploring like a romantic relationship that could probably come to fruition a bit more than what he experienced with Vicky Vale in the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was absolutely ridiculous is how the Penguin got the blueprints to the Batmobile.
But
that's your like, whoa! I
don't give a shit. That's your Jaws blowing up moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I can buy that. Like, you can talking about verisimilitude. Okay. You can get away with 1 or 2 things in one of these movies once in a while that I know are complete bullshit. As long as you keep me invested in the rest of the movie, I'm going to ignore it. And
Yeah.
that's one of those things I'll ignore.
That's
just like
actually a
Superman
thing
going back in time.
That is kind of the rule with regards to in Hollywood in storytelling, is that you can get away with one so long as everything else is so good, people will forgive it. And I would say one of the coolest badass moments in Batman Returns is Batman punches a hole through the bottom of the Batmobile.
Yeah, he does.
To get a thing. He punches a hole. Like,
he blows
that's
a
hard to
motherfucker
do.
up, too.
Try to punch a hole in your car. At the
Batman does some cool shit in that movie. He kills a motherfucker by stuffing a bomb down his shorts.
Yeah, because the guy was going to blow him up. So he was like,
Sets a guy on
enjoy
fire
your
with
own
the
bomb.
exhaust of the Batmobile.
Fuck yeah, he does. K-Mation says, Tom, what about Dark Knight Joker? Hey, Batman Begins and Dark Knight got it right. Dark Knight Rises is where it fell off a fucking cliff.
The fire rises.
Yeah, fuck that movie. I'm sorry. That movie should have been about the Riddler and the Penguin. Penguin
love the
taking
Riddler.
over the city as the mayor. But you make him like the Penguin. You go the opposite of the Danny DeVito.
Make him the Burgess Meredith Penguin.
Oh, wait a minute. I have
Not
an
so much
idea.
that, but yeah, you do kind of, but you make him even a bit more, dapper, kind of like they did in
Yeah.
Gotham. But what are you
Yeah.
saying there, Polly?
Let's update it. I have an idea. Latinx rises.
Yes.
Latinx rises.
Does she have enough lipstick though?
Yeah, man.
How does
Yeah.
she rise with the chip on her shoulder?
No, man.
She
She-
rises from a giant red lipstick. Like they pop the
Oh,
cap
yeah.
and then she just comes out.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that the logical thing was you had the Riddler fucking with Batman in the background, so that allows the Penguin to infiltrate every bit of the city's infrastructure. After Bruce already made the sacrifice over the whole thing with Two-Face, so it kind of undermines everything he did, and they oust, you know, Commissioner Gordon and shit like that. Like that's your movie right there. That's what it should have been. And then Batman taking back Gotham. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway. If you want to go with themes, you have the first one is fear, the second one's hypocrisy, and the third one would be truth. And that Riddler would fit into that. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's where it fits in Nolan's world, because the Riddler would have been just like look at Insomnia. Make the Riddler like the Robin Williams character kind of in Insomnia. Like that kind of a tone. Like just fucking nuts.
Robin Williams would love to have played the Riddler.
Oh God, he'd have been great in it too.
Completely insane Riddler.
He lobbied for that, but lost to Jim Carrey.
Oh, he would have been so much better than Jim Carrey.
Well, you know the story.
Oh yeah.
They used Robin twice, and he said I don't know if he ever did a movie for Warner after that. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. No.
That was his thing. He said he'd never make a movie with Warner Brothers Pictures because they fucked him over twice.
I was thinking about the movie poster for Toys, but in green.
Oh, you can totally Photoshop that into a Riddler.
That would be awesome, yeah. But no, did you know that, Jesse and Paulie?
No.
Like they used him to get.
He's such a big name. I'm surprised they were that stupid.
Oh, they were assholes to him. They used him to get Jack Nicholson to sign on as the Joker because they told Jack they were in talks with Robin if he wasn't going to sign on because Jack was playing some hardball with the price.
Oh, of course.
And then they fucked him over with that, and they're like, "Oh no, we'll make it up to you." And Tim, I think even Tim Burton had said something to him like, "Don't worry, I'll make sure you're the Riddler." Well, then that was Tim's choice to play the Riddler if he would have done 3.
Yeah,
and he thought he was lined up. Well, they had him on the phone again, but it was just to get Jim Carrey to sign because Jim Carrey had just done Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. So they wanted him. He came off the biggest year he ever had.
He's such a fucking ham.
Well, and I like him as the Riddler, but
Disney after that. He pretty much stayed with Disney, I think, right?
For the most part,
he got pissed at them Robin Williams go make toys and become the genie, so that's fine.
Fox, and he did some Universal Pictures, I think, but I don't think he ever worked again for Warner. My recollection at all. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, he vowed never to work for. He's like, fuck them.
Yeah, and Warner's like one of the biggest companies, so to have that kind of star power, you're just like, how about go fuck yourself, and you could just still go.
Well, and they took that movie away from Tim Burton too. We all know that story, but
want to see something funny?
Sure.
My dog half dry, half wet.
Oh, we love puppies here. Let me see. Let me make you big here. Oh, your puppy!
Is it dry?
Oh.
Now you got to get him to ride a Roomba and he'll be a star.
Oh, puppies!
Hey, Latinx, I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up. My name is Mr. Butters. And
is he dark enough?
Oh yeah, that's Mr. Butters. But yeah, like this side's still wet. Yeah, so just hello,
Paulie in his wet
Butters.
shirt. We love.
Yeah. Marvin Williams did do one more Warner Brothers picture, A License to Wed, through Village Roadshow Pictures.
Oh, that was for the Village Roadshow because wasn't also.
Thanks, Paulie.
Oh shit!
Wasn't Man of the Year, that President one? Wasn't that also through Warner? But I think that was through Roadshow. So it might have just been a distribution deal.
Let's see. I can't remember.
Because he had like 2 or 3 movies in that area.
He had a deal with them, yeah. He also did. So it was also August Rush was also Warner Brothers.
Okay, yep.
So this would be actually after the regime change at Warner Brothers in the early 2000s.
That also makes sense as well.
Yeah.
See?
So he's never worked for that regime of Warner
that
Brothers,
old regime,
yeah. So he was Disney and Sony for like a decade and then went back.
Universal as well. Because that's where he did Patch Adams and a couple other ones.
Yeah.
But other than unless Jesse, did you really want to talk about that monster story?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Not that anybody really
I watched the trailer you sent. Long story short, there's a new Monsters
here, I'll bring up a picture.
Incorporated university, whatever they call it. But it's basically about the people who run the equipment at the factory. So who cares? And one of them is Woke Velma from the new shitty Scooby series. That has Scooby. So
yeah, that's how I vaguely remember this. Is I remember I like forgot all about this. And then now that you mentioned that, I do remember hearing about it because she was cast in it. But yeah, it's called Monsters at Work. It's a Disney Plus series. It does have the original voice cast coming back, but as Jesse was just saying, it is going to be a bit more focused on the new monsters, as this is a sequel now finally to Monsters Inc. We're now moving forward. We're moving forward now. So that's a plus. I wasn't a big fan of Monsters University. I thought it was okay, but I thought it would have been better as like a short. I think it went on too long, in my opinion. What did you guys think of that? Script, did you see it?
I did see it. I thought it was kind of weird. I mean, it was a conflicting part because it showed like, oh, there's value to education with regards to like learning about the profession you want to do, but there's also value to working your way up from the bottom as well. And I don't think they nailed the balance between those two perspectives properly with the prequel. And I remember drifting in and out of it in the theaters as well. It was not as funny as, because they had like the hazing stuff, which I just wasn't as creative as I was expecting it to be.
Bit predictive on my behalf. I too just kind of felt. I mean, because I love the original one.
Me too.
I thought the original one was really cute, and even though it kind of ripped off the Howie Mandel movie Little Monsters,
it did. Real bad.
It did it well, and that's the thing. Pixar was really good at ripping shit off for the longest time, because as I pointed out time and time again, all Cars is Tu Wong Fu and Doc Hollywood. All Toy Story is every buddy cop movie you've ever fucking saw. And Bug's Life was probably one of their more original ones, and that one got ripped off to high heaven. And then, Monsters Inc. was just like little monsters, and they rip a lot off of Little Monsters, actually.
Now, see, the other one that's coming out now is another Hotel Transylvania movie. And I could see where a kid would want to go see that over this movie, because at least they're doing a thing where the monsters turn it back into real people and real people turn into monsters. So you get to see everybody as people.
No, I haven't been a fan of that series, but you got a younger kid, Jesse. Is that one bigger with the kids than this?
Neither one of these is big with my son. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought. You were saying though.
No, that's pretty much it. It just as a little kid, it would be more interesting to me to see what the Wolfman looks like.
Well, that's like the fifth or sixth one of those, ain't it now?
I don't fucking know, man. Too many.
I think so.
Too many.
Because they had Hotel Transylvania 2, and then the third one was like,
you know what it is? It's what's his name? Adam Sandler just thinking, I could use another waterfall in my pool.
Here's the thing: is like he got basically booted out of Sony. I'm surprised he still does those for him.
Hey, pay me.
Well, they got sick of sending his friends on vacation. I could imagine.
Yeah,
well, he admitted that on talk shows.
Well, it was pretty obvious after the second or third one. I mean, come on. But yeah, are you guys? I mean, I know I've seen a lot of people who are still canceled their Disney Plus. I haven't gotten Disney Plus back either. My kid has it for free through his phone, so I've used.
Yeah,
that.
That's how I have it, and I got to check that to make sure the year isn't up yet, because I'm not paying for that shit. There's nothing on that I watch.
Yeah,
it's a whole streaming service, and I don't watch any of it.
So this is the fourth hotel movie. Okay, there's only 3 of them. I thought there was more.
The first thing I've watched on Disney Plus since I got it has been the first episode of Loki.
Interesting. Joe Pat brings up that Sandler isn't in the new Hotel Transylvania movie.
What, they just recast his voice?
It's not hard to do.
Just
get somebody who goes, "Dibbity-doo." I used to love Adam Sandler, but he went so south. But Paulie, are you still drying off dogs over there?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
nothing,
I've been listening.
I was just curious.
No, I've been he's a hairy ass man. I mean, he's got so much hair, it's just crazy. And like now my whole face is itching and shit.
No, I went and gave Sadie a fucking bath the other day, and she must have went and rolled in something.
Oh yeah.
I
They
hate
love
it
doing
when they
that
do
shit.
that shit. And it's
Isn't
like,
your dog small enough to throw in the dryer on like a low setting?
Oh God, tell Romy that. She'll love.
Low setting. Don't do the full thing. That'd be cruel.
See, he
don't
can
put it on
run
the
with it
bedding
like a
setting.
hamster wheel. Just watch. If he can't keep up, then shut it off.
Just make sure you put enough dryer sheets in there.
Aw,
She's
I'm
gonna
a
have an
puppy.
afro.
His bottom needs to be.
He's like, you're exploiting me.
I hate Latinx.
I think we're gonna start wrapping it up here.
I just want to say one thing before the show ends.
Sure.
It's hard to make me want to like be excited for something these days for obvious reasons. But yesterday I found out about the Evil Dead video game, and for Ash versus the Evil Dead, they were only able to use references from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And they couldn't touch Army of Darkness, but for some reason, this video game has Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash versus Evil Dead, and it's all in there, and it looks so freaking fun. Like, I'm super excited for this thing. Yes. The end.
Yeah.
It's a complaint.
Actually, this is a good question here, K-Mation, because somebody sent me a better picture today of Skelegod. I don't know if he minds me telling who I saw it from, because I think he's in the chat. So if you're in the chat and you don't care if I say who sent this picture to me, go ahead. If not, I'm not going to say it, because this is technically not supposed to be out till the 20th, I guess.
Oh.
So if you don't want any spoilers for the new Masters of the Universe Kevin Smith show, close your eyes. But I've kind of blurted this out a few times already, and it's kind of like not a very well kept secret. But here is the Mega Skeletor, or whatever you want to call him, after he gets the sword.
Super Shredder.
Basically.
Oh, I got goat horns. Nice.
I have the power.
The sword is mine.
I will kill the puppy.
You bumbling boobs. Yeah, doesn't look too shabby. That's the thing. This looks pretty goddamn good. Damn it.
Hey, it looks pretty brutal.
I hope. Well, this just means that he gets the sword.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other part too is, like, again, they suggest that it's been decades that he's had the sword.
Yeah.
I guess he looks like 40, and Phil Lamar is the voice of Hero. So
I am not nice. I am not kind.
What
All
is
right.
Christmas?
I'll carry the dog.
Leave him.
Oh, shit.
But he'll freeze, mister. Skeletor is such a...
Where's Beastman when I need him? I'm going to cut him open and crawl inside. It's so fucking cold. Like a Wampa. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. There's a Mega Skeletor, or whatever you call him. He Skeletor-ish.
I can't help it. I still love when he was like, jump out of the plane. And they're like, there's only 2 parachutes. He was like, I said go.
I said go. You do a pretty good Skeletor, too. When did Skeletor join Gwar?
Good question.
That's what it looks like, almost. But you know, speaking of that, it does look like one they would come out with in the 80s for sure. It definitely has that aesthetic to it. So yeah, let's get out of here. Check out the Latino Slant. Paulie, you got anything coming up you want to plug at all?
Yeah, check it out. Tomorrow night, top 5 Robert Rodriguez films of all time countdown with Mandy Summers and Loki, Marines of Mischief.
Like what?
Like what? It's gonna be a fun show. It was already been voted on by you guys, people who voted on it. So
like
we'll just
what?
count them. Like what?
What?
So yeah. So
That's got to be like one of the oldest internet memes. You guys ever seen those? The Skeletor what's? What?
No. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
They just take a bunch of stuff and cut Skeletor going, what?
Thanks a lot.
To it. Anyway, Paul, you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Like I said, I got a show tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. Come on by.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Latino Slant. Get your slant on.
Not to be confused with Latinx.
Latinx. We're Latinx, y'all. And also check out the Script Doctor PhD.
Yeah, sure.
Anything you got coming up?
Just writing. Just doing a lot of writing. So nothing yet, but follow me on Twitter, and because I usually retweet the live streams I'm on or have some funny quips here and there. I'm just about to post something funny with regards to that Batman thing right now. So, yeah.
Bryant Barth really wants to know, do we think the directors were being intentional or just bad writing on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? You mean the original?
Well, you know what's funny is, Brian, you've been asking that for.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean on that. That's why I haven't really answered it.
It's not specific. Can you be specific?
Yeah, that's why I haven't really answered it, because I'm not sure what you're asking, buddy.
Yeah.
But you asked earlier what I thought of Cheers. I fucking love Cheers. Cheers is one of the greatest TV shows of all times. I think that's hard to argue with.
It's
I
up
haven't
there.
met anybody who doesn't like Cheers,
It's
except for
kinda
like
on the
one
level of
person.
a MASH.
And I don't need that kind of fucking negativity in my life. So,
right?
Hey, Norm. Norm.
I love
Hey,
when
Norman.
somebody found it like a $10
Norman.
or $20 bill in the back room where the pool table was. And Woody was like, "Oh, that's mine. I lost one." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, what's the serial number?" And he just memorized the serial number and he told him.
Yeah.
Woody is one of
like,
those
okay, Rain Man.
rare occasions where they found the right person, even though you can never replace Coach. But Woody just was like that right guy at the right time. I don't know how else to explain it, but it worked. Just like it should have never worked when Shelley left and they brought in Kirsty. Like that shouldn't have worked either, but it just managed to work somehow, some way.
Well, the fact that Kirsty Allen's character was like a constant gold digger, just looking for high society and money and everybody.
Yeah, well, she was like Shelley's character, but that different twist, exactly. Like Shelley was the opposite of that. She wanted to make it on her own. So, but yeah, no, I love that show. That show's great. We can talk about that forever. Like Script, I know you're a huge fan.
Yeah, I actually spent 1 year, a few years ago, I got the entire series on DVD, and I would just watch 3 episodes a day every day, just to be like.
Well, don't you have like a signed final script and shit?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Who was it that was telling me they did then? Somebody was.
Someone, that must have been someone else, not me.
I thought it was you.
But I did get, I got like a bunch of interviews from James Burrows, who directed almost all of the episodes.
Maybe that's why I blended it, because you said you had the interview, and then somebody else told me they had the script. That's probably it.
Oh yeah, someone has that a signed script. That's awesome.
By him, I think. Yeah, that's why I think I melded the two stories.
Man. Now I want to see the damn TV show again.
It's on HD on Vudu. I got it for really cheap one night. I got it for like fucking $30 or $40. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I bought the whole
I
fucking
just
show.
love watching them. Like, I can just run through like 10 of them easily.
I know, right?
Yeah, because I was hilarious, man.
Oh, he means
So
the
many good
71
stuff.
original? I thought the original was great, Brian. I'm not sure. I don't know what you mean by intentional bad writing on Willy Wonka. I really don't. I thought they did a great job. I mean, in the beginning, the movie was kind of just ignored by everybody because it was basically just meant to be a commercial for a candy bar that never got released. Because
they were supposed to get released.
Yeah, but the formula was fucked up, so it kept melting. So yeah, the movie though did get released and it did well enough over time. I don't think it did very well on its initial launch though. I think that's another one of those movies that kind of built up over time through television viewings, and then video really helped that movie, I think. Yeah, Perfect Strangers. I want to watch that now too. I wonder if it's still on Hulu. It was, but I think they moved it to HBO Max. I love seeing all these old shows in HD now, because they also had MASH on Hulu for a while in HD.
It's really funny to see the square TV view.
Yeah, that don't bother me as long as it's in good quality.
Oh yeah, it's just still odd.
I mean, some of those shows will forever be on video, though. That's what sucks. But because you even run into things like the Monty Python. Some of it's on film and some of it's on video, so it varies. But anyway, Jesse, you didn't get to go yet. You got anything coming up on your channel?
I don't know. I have a randomly live stream, hang out with my friends. I dropped the link in the chat so you could come on too. It's pretty open door policy unless you're an asshole. That kind of takes a lot.
Damn it.
Yeah, well, you know, I let people be drunk to a point, and then I let them go to sleep. That's my only rule. There you go. Besides that, just hanging out over here, working a lot, and doing real life stuff.
Yeah, I prefer physical media, jack of all casuals, but a lot of these shows probably will never get re-released again on Blu-ray or anything like that.
It's expensive. Yeah.
That's why they never finished all the other Star Trek shows. I'm sure if you've caught any of our streams with Robert and he's brought it up, how expensive and long it took them, how expensive an endeavor and extensive endeavor it was. But
well, yeah, they did two series back to back, and they sold well, but they were also, the prices for their release were also exorbitant. To cover the costs, because again, they didn't know 100% if they were going to make the money back, and sadly, when the accounting, Hollywood accounting said that they didn't. And
well, the biggest problem with that release was, and I remember, I think Bill Hunt, and I know Robert has said this too, is they made the mistake of releasing it season by season.
Yes,
they should have released it as one big box set to begin with.
I don't buy seasons, man. I only
exactly.
Buy
well, that was the
I
problem.
only buy series box sets.
Well,
That's
the reason they did that
around.
is because they were releasing shows on Showtime and HBO season by season, right before the following season would air, and that was a good market strategy. But it doesn't work for a show that's already aired and it's been off. You want the complete set because people don't like.
And the other thing is, if you're going to charge me out the ass for it, give me a nice box.
Well, the problem, Jesse, is they were bringing it out season by season, like Script was saying, but like a lot of those people that you were aiming it towards, they already had the DVD box set, so they weren't going to buy each season. They were waiting for the big box set to come out, so they were just holding off.
So what they ended up doing is they doubled their production cost for their overhead, because again, you release season by season, and then at the same time you release the entire box set, which is a different production line. So they ended up spending more money on its release than what they should have.
Yeah, and you're right. If they would have just released it in a really nice, decent box set to begin with, people would have gladly paid $300. At least.
Are you kidding? In Canada, it was almost $1,000.
It was not cheap when it first came out, but now you can get it for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I really hated? That was a trend for a long time. They would start out with seasons, and then they would move on to splitting it into volumes.
Oh, I remember that.
I fucking hate that. They did that a lot with cartoon shows, but anyway.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, and Paulie says Superman and Lois is trending. Is that on tonight?
It's trending every Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think it's on.
It's manufactured trending, but I mean, the thing is, it's a better show than the other CWs that are trending.
Yeah, but they got a lot of people talking about it, and I guess it's a classic episode. Supposedly, he's going to be in his old uniform.
Ooh.
Looking at
I really got to get
here.
into this show. You guys have really kind of talked it up a lot, so hopefully it lives up to the hype. But I mean, I'm a huge Superman fan, and
I've got Men in Tights stuck in my head now.
I mean, we're what?
We're
9 episodes in.
Yeah, I think we're 9 episodes in.
I mean,
I don't know if I could catch up with all that many, but you guys pre-recorded all that shit. So
the last one was just kind of dropped another twist at the end of that episode. We got
that's
so
we have one to explore.
We have one more installment that I have to release Script. 7 and 8, or whatever it was, and then we can get going on it.
Well, we did the first 8, so
7 and 8. Those have been we have like 4 of them. We have a lot of it's me and Script broke down the entire first 8 episodes. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Didn't take long.
No, just throw on a purple mask and you've got the whole package right there.
Oh, man, imagine.
Rennie, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Rennie Reds, he always gets these real quick. Yeah, that's all he's missing is the mask, but that could be easy to do. Yeah.
Good job, Rennie.
Just put the Geeks and Gamers mask on.
And so I heard a story. I don't know 100% if this is true because, again, it was from comic books before I was born. But I think the Frank Gorshin introduced the Riddler suit, like the actual like formal attire.
He did, because they gave him a leotard and he thought it was cheesy.
Yep. And so they gave him the suit, which ended up catching on in the comics, and it switched between both. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool little difference in presentation.
Because he was also the first villain on the show.
Yes, from the pilot.
It was a two-parter.
They're all two-parters in the first 2 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Like, there's a scene where it just showed him walking through the sewer with his thugs behind him, and he just straightens out the bowler cap, and I was like, dude, that was so fucking cool. The show's awesome.
Oh yeah,
it had a whole different tone.
I strongly advise people that if you are a Batman fan, you can watch this show, because although it gets misrepresented as camp, because it is not camp. The comedy is actually kind of timeless. It's called camp just because people thought it ruined the character, but it actually kind of gave it a little bit of revitalization and survival in the comics, so it could actually get to the point it was in the late 60s and 70s, which is like some of the best runs of the series. But it's actually a really clever show. Victor Buono, who plays King Tut.
That's year 7, or year
Oh my
Wonka.
God.
Oh gosh.
Well, real quick,
he's fantastic.
What's in the box? Chocolate. What's in the box?
So, Superman and Lois is trending because the actors in it are going to drop photos after tonight's episode of next week's episode, where Superman's going to be in his classic outfit. So that's the.
So I'm guessing that's the one that we saw in the pilot, eh?
Correct. So I guess there's going to be a whole retro episode next week. I mean,
Superman's first save of Lois, perhaps.
I don't know. But that sounds awesome.
As long as they don't repeat the Donner film, because that's got to stay there. I saw a couple of animated things where they try to repeat the exchange, like I got you, but who's got you stuff, and it just doesn't work because it's not. It doesn't feel as natural.
Well, Eric Valdez, who plays Lana Lang's husband, he's saying,
Cushing, the Cushing guy,
Kyle, right? The BTS picks. What does that mean, BTS?
Behind the scenes.
Thank you. I'm going to post on my IG after tonight's episode are going to be good. He just put that up.
Cool.
So, yeah. You know,
there you go.
We're fanning over this show.
It's all right. I like.
It's in the right direction. So
yeah,
it's going in the right direction. If people respond positively to that, then the powers that be know they're going the right direction. So hopefully they'll take another step further in that same direction and not double back in the silliness that unfortunately the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl have gone.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. It looks like Matt and looks like I think Alex is over there too from Salty Nerd. Why don't you guys check that out? They're over on Andy Signor's podcast. I put the link in the chat there.
Nice.
Tell them we said hi. Yeah, and then we'll see you tomorrow morning on Midnight's Edge in the morning. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right.
By the way, I want to thank Nina Infinity and her significant other for our awesome intro. Thank you so much.